Get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 203, your time check. Brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Man, we got a jam-packed show for everybody today. It's We Went Blues Day. So we're going to talk to the former captain, Ryan O'Reilly, at 2:30. We're going to talk to Colton Parayko at 3 o'clock. We're going to talk to Alex Pietrangelo, captain, of course, hoisted the first Stanley Cup in Blues franchise history. And at some point, we hope to be joined by Jon Hamm himself.
Yeah, the big
Hammer
boy,
time.
Hammer Time's on set right now in New York City. He absolutely wants to get on here today. So we've basically had the rule where he's going to give me a 10-minute warning, and then we're just going to fit him into the show wherever it is.
Whatever we're doing.
Yep.
So if you're in the Gauntlet today, we appreciate you playing. If Jon Hamm says, I'm good to go at 4:05, we'll call you back.
It's not that he's more important.
No,
It's just that he's more important.
Yeah. Well,
God, man.
What?
We're all important to someone?
Yeah.
to someone.
I didn't say they
Mostly
weren't
our mothers.
important. I said they're just not as important.
Yeah, no,
For today's show.
Okay.
In particular.
Okay. I
Yeah, I like that.
I like how you went around about
Anthony?
it. Well, as though they weren't
Usually
important
you
at all.
take it pretty well, but today it doesn't look like you're taking it very well. Right, Carey?
I don't know how to take that comment
Like you normally
by
do.
you.
Yeah, with a smile on your face.
So we're going to start, really? We win Blues Day.
He did it.
I'm going to cancel today. No, Holly, no, we're canceling today. All right?
By the way, Carey, have you ever heard the story behind the We Went Blues?
I have not.
So you've heard it, Anthony. I told you. Marsh, I think I've told you too. We arrived underneath the arch where they had the stage set up and all that stuff. And the alumni were very fortunate to be in the parade. It was awesome. I mean, an unbelievable day of drinking, of laughing, of partying, of just having an amazing time. We get down there, though, and we didn't know why it was taking so long for the players to get there. Now there's video evidence of what they were doing, riding around on mini bikes, running around with the people in the crowd like they enjoyed the moment. But we were waiting for them to arrive. And so Holly literally had a hold my beer moment. He started to get impatient, and he's looking at me. He goes, hold this. And he gives me his cocktail, wasn't a beer, and grabs 2 beers on the way up. So I'm like, okay, well, why did you give me the drink? But whatever. I was feeling no pain, so I was like, hey, go get him, Holly. He gets up there, and as he starts talking, you see the panic on people down there like, he's not supposed to be up here. But who's going to stop him?
Right.
And the crowd's like, Brett Hall, whatever he says, let's go.
Yeah.
And then he comes around and instead of let's go Blues, well, now we did it, so we went Blues. He goes through this whole tirade of it. And they finally coax him off stage, and he comes back to me. He looks at me, and he giggles. He goes, we went Blues. Let him figure that one out. It was awesome.
That's hilarious.
It absolutely stuck. That's
It
for
did.
sure. All right, so it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. But before we get into a lot of the Blues coverage for today, we are, of course, going to talk about your Cardinals. They lose last night to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They got Paul Skeens.
Yeah, I was going to say, they didn't lose to the Pirates. They lost to the Skeens.
They did. He was worth the advertisements. That kid is special, and I can't wait till the Pirates trade him to the Yankees so we don't have to see him again. Might be a couple of years,
Or
but
the Dodgers. That's
or
the
the
problem.
Dodgers. Yeah, it's gonna be somebody though, because they're not paying this kid. There's no doubt.
How early did they stop paying him?
Yeah, probably after 2 years.
Once they get a little uncomfortable with the arbitration process, then they'll deal him.
Yeah, they were like, we don't
That
want
kid's
to do
a
this.
nightmare, guys. I watched a whole bunch of video today on I guess they call it the overlaying of pitches, to where they take every single pitch he has in his arsenal and they overlay it to see where it starts, halfway to the plate where it's at, and then obviously where it finishes.
Yeah.
Every damn pitch looks the same halfway to the plate.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
We all know how hard it is to hit a baseball, how quickly that thing, especially this guy's throwing it in at 100. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're thinking it's 100 and it comes out of the hand like it's 100, halfway to the plate, it's like this is a fastball, and then it drops off the friggin' table.
Yeah.
How can you time that up? Like, I know Ohtani did it after he got whiffed 3 times the first time.
So the greatest baseball player on earth did it.
He did it, yes.
After striking. Okay, yep, got it.
But
That's
it's wild to see how good that kid is.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. So six and a third. He allowed 5 hits, no runs, struck out 8 in the process, and the Pirates rallied 2-1. The storyline, and rightfully so, outside of course, Paul Skeens, is the bench bats for the Cardinals.
I thought you were going to go positive and say how well Miles Mikolas pitched.
He did pitch very well.
He did. Let's start. Can we go positive and then go to the negative?
Okay, that's fair.
Miles Mikolas,
Carey, go ahead.
1 hit throughout 7 innings. He did a fantastic job. No hitter, I think, up until the 6th inning. He was doing a great job. Or was it to the 7th inning? Either way, he did a great job and was outstanding last night. Didn't get any run support. And I know I've told you this time and time again, Anthony, you have to get around and touch the plate for you to score.
I'm still looking into that, but
and the Cardinals were unable to do that while Miles Mikolas was pitching, which eventually led to him having to leave the game. Mm-hmm. But he was performing really, really well. And that's one of the things we've been complaining. We've said, oh, you're giving us 5 and a third. Oh, you're just He went 7. He did a fantastic job. He did everything in his power to help that team win that game last night. And it's so frustrating, again, watching this team. The thing that's frustrating, now that was the positive. I will go into the negative. The thing that's frustrating, I've said it time and time again. You get 2 or 3 phases working well, pitching, fielding, great. Got some really good plays last night. You don't hit the damn ball. You don't hit the ball well enough to score. You ain't going to win. That's the frustrating part.
I thought Miles Mikolas' performance was exceptional, but I thought it was even more exceptional knowing that on the other side of the diamond, that kid's throwing a great game.
Yeah.
And, I'm not a pitcher, but I have been a pro athlete. And when you're head-to-head against an individual and they're having an unbelievable game, you either crumble or you rise.
Yeah.
That's what happens because you either can't take the pressure or you can't sustain your performance and you crumble, or you elevate your performance and match that of the other individual. And I thought that Miles Mikolas really shined last night. I thought they did a fantastic job of staying, toe-to-toe with Paul Skeens as long as he possibly could. He gave the Cardinals every opportunity to win that game.
Chance. And just did not, the offense didn't come to his aid. They didn't help him out in that regard. And that's frustrating, man, because we complain about so many things here, and it's like the team aspect of the St. Louis Cardinals, it just every single game, it feels like there's a piece lacking or a piece missing. And I don't know how you correct that. If I'm a coach, I can handle one person making a mistake over and over and over again because his ass ain't going to play. But when it's multiple areas, it's like the boat guy plugging the hole. With
the Flex Seal?
With the Flex Seal, but he ran out. It's so many holes trying to plug.
They sell 2 for 1.
Well, the Flex Seal works really well. We've seen the commercial. It stops the hole, right? It stops the plug. It plugs it up.
For as long as that commercial lasts, it does.
Guys, I will say this about the Flex Seal.
It works.
Pretty damn good. For our puck buckets, I spray the interior and the bottom of it because the puck buckets are on the ice throughout the practice, and then when you drop the pucks in after, it shatters the bottom with just plastic bucket.
Yeah.
You have to Flex Seal all in there, and it just drops in there.
Nice.
Yes.
Testimonial.
Yeah. There you go.
It works.
You should be paid for that, quite honestly.
You absolutely should.
Flex Seal, reach out to us. We got you.
Yeah, got you covered. We saw that guy at the boat.
Oh, yeah.
We've never seen him again.
Yeah, I was going to say. I
saw him in the
seen
commercial the next time it played, Anthony.
Yeah, but
it's a different commercial. No.
You're right, CD. Just, I don't know. No, you know what? You're right. Yeah, that guy's fine, I'm sure. Didn't drown it or anything. All right, injuries to Tommy Edman, Lars Nootbaar, and then, of course, Wilson Contreras has left this Cardinals bench absolutely limited. Here's Katie Woo asking Oli Marmol a very important question about his bench and what's available in a moment where the game is tight.
I mean, this is just one example, but it seems like a lot of the guys on the bench tonight have roles that are defined strictly for certain situations. Does that complicate things for you?
It does. You deal with what you got. I mean, if you'd like to give me an example, I'm happy to answer it.
Let's go with Crawford, right? We know he was brought into the reserve space, and he's done a nice job there. Didn't take the Evaporiciani there, and I'm not saying that he should or shouldn't, but that's one example. There's another example of having to use Carlson in case you want to pinch it for Siani. You need another center fielder. It just seems at this point there are limited options as to how you can deploy your bench in late innings in games like this.
There is, because of the reasons you just described. Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
You know what this reminds me of? Reminds me of a couple of years ago when Matt Carpenter was our only option off the bench.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yes.
And you didn't have anybody else to deploy, and Marp was your only so-called savior. I'm sorry, I texted last night to you guys. I would have 100% went with Brandon Crawford instead of Siani in that last at-bat. And then you move Carlson to center field. After that, if you tied the game up or whatever, could have won. But Brandon Crawford, his last two games, he's been swinging the bat really well. He's made good contact. He's a veteran player. The moment's not too big for him. Mm-hmm. And Siani's he's struggled. It's a left-handed bat, so it's literally essentially the same thing. And look, I've been tough on the crawdaddy, but I've noticed the last two games he's hitting the ball pretty well. Mm-hmm. I would have went with that route and put Carlson in center field, and at least you're trying to win the game right there.
Right. Yeah, it's not a bad thought at all.
Nah, but you hate it.
I didn't hate. I don't hate it. I think big picture is that this bench, because of the injuries and some of the off-season moves that Mo has made, it's woefully thin. Now, I get it. You're not going to have all-stars on your bench. But these guys, you don't really have versatile pieces either. You have guys that are very designated to one situation.
You got guys batting 200. 2 outs, 2 guys on base, bottom of the ninth. And you'd rather go with that? Yeah. Your bench is too thin.
Your bench is weak. So they got to get these guys healthy, and or Mo's got to make some moves. That's it.
Get healthy.
Got to get healthy first.
Yeah.
It would help.
I think that would help.
Anybody see Tommy Edman?
No.
He was hitting batting practice.
Probably with the Flex Seal guy. All right, we got the lineup out. Lineup game next on 101 ESPN. I love Mosby Building Arts. They're fantastic, and they've got a great offer going on right now. When you call them, and I'll give you that phone number in a second here, but when you call them, you can take advantage of the Mosby Great Kitchen Escape. $2,500 Airbnb gift card with a kitchen remodel. Got to call now until the end of the month. That's the offer. So you call now. You have until the end of the month. Just book an appointment. Your whole kitchen remodel doesn't have to be done before June 30th. You just have to call and have that appointment. But when you remodel your kitchen with Mosby, again, you're going to get a $2,500 gift card, Airbnb gift card with that kitchen remodel. When it comes to kitchens, look, you're talking about the heart of the home where everybody gathers to cook and eat. You're talking about efficient storage systems that can be put into place to take advantage of some of the space that you have. That's what Mosby does the best. They're going to remodel the kitchen the way you want it done, and they're going to do it in a manner that's going to free up some space, do it efficiently, and do it in a way that you're absolutely going to love. So give them a call, again, before June 30th. Take advantage of the promotion that they have going on right now with their kitchen remodel. 314-909-1800. You can also visit them at callmosby.com. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
Wrestling here at 101 ESPN. We know what that sounder means. Means time for the lineup game. Marshy, who we got on the bump for the Pirates today?
All right, so Bailey Falter is on the bump. He is a lefty.
Lefty on the bump. Okay. Carey?
Yeah.
I don't think we changed things,
Not wrong
right?
with you.
Go ahead with your boy.
Show us Mason win.
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across the. That's awesome, but like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up.
All right. I don't think we changed things here either.
Nope.
Even though he's a lefty, I think we go with
He plays
our
every
guy.
day.
All right, show us. Alec Burleson.
You know, kind of closed my eyes and swung at it and did what I wanted to do.
Bully to the rescue!
Okay. Good
It's
start.
Easy game.
Go with.
Hey, show us Paul Goldschmidt.
There we go.
Took a little long.
Well, we're too quick for Marshy.
Because
Okay.
we're good at this.
So here's where it gets a little interesting.
Is it?
It's a lefty on the bump. Gorman a lefty. Does Gorman stay in the cleanup spot?
Why not?
No.
I don't think he does either. I think this is an Arenado night. He went 2 for 4 last night with a single and a double. I think Arenado gets the bump to clean up. Anthony?
Show us.
Nolan Arenado.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
Nice work there, Jamie.
Thank you.
Real nice work.
And then
Now,
is
is
go
this
back
Gorman?
to popcorn.
Yep.
You got it, because he's
Show-
clearly your guy.
Yeah, he's your
God,
guy.
is he my guy?
So annoying.
Should be. I should have went right to Vegas with this guy. Right, Anthony?
He may help
Ride
you.
the hot guy.
He may help you get to your play.
Yeah. I
Your
should have
first
rode
place
him
play.
all the way to Vegas.
You really should have.
Should have.
Big time.
Show us that popcorn guy, Nolan Gorman.
Get your popcorn ready.
Okay.
All right. Doing pretty well.
Lefty, is this
Herrera?
Or
Donovan?
Donovan.
I think Donovan might get bumped.
Yeah, I don't think
You want
he
two
goes too.
lefties?
Yeah, I think this is my vote is for Herrera.
I second that vote.
Well, you do it, Anthony.
Show us Ivan Herrera.
I'm just going to say this right now. I think Ivan Herrera is going to hit a home run right here.
Marsh just literally called that at Ballpark Village.
Marshy had a vision. I love that.
Donnie Baseball,
Yeah.
show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
Now.
Where are we at now? 8?
We're at 8.
Is this
Where's
you
our
need a
DH?
Need a DH
Because
and you need,
it ain't going to be Marp. It's a lefty
No.
on the bump. And
So
you-
maybe Herrera is the
Wait,
DH.
do you trust
Baez.
Carlson as the DH? Because you certainly
He's gotta
didn't
play
bat him
center field.
last night against a righty.
Well, what if Burleson is your DH and then it's Carlson and Ciani?
Okay, but either way, then it'd be Carlson, Ciani in the order, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So nothing changes.
So I agree with Carlson.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Show us Dylan Carlson.
Guy was built like a linebacker.
All right.
I've never heard of that one.
I don't think so.
gotta
He
be
doesn't play.
Super bad here now, right?
He doesn't. Yeah.
Show us Michael Ciani.
Michael.
Perfect. You're not Michael Phelps. You're Michael
What a
Sarah.
day, boys.
Trusted
Nice
you guys.
job.
Marshy, you had no faith. And what did I tell you in the break? I said, we got this. Marshy's like, we're not going to have time to do it. You know, we got Ryan O'Reilly coming up and scramble. I said, no, we got this.
Marsh is in a role where he's got to worry about stuff like that.
He does.
And I appreciate it. So Marsh, without further ado, why don't you run it for us?
Okay.
And then we got to get to the home run derby.
Absolutely. All right. Leading off your shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting second, the DH, Alec Burleson.
Call.
Batting third, first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. Your cleanup hitter, third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth, second baseman, Nolan Gorman. Batting sixth, catching, Ivan Herrera. Batting seventh in left field, Brendan Donovan. Batting eighth in right field, Dylan Carlson. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Michael Ciani.
Go fair, go fair!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
All right, let's go. We got to go.
You're killing it. Go.
No, Marshy's in the lead.
Still in the lead.
That's right. You're just catching up.
Piddles told me to take Ivan Herrera tonight,
He did.
so
And?
I am going to pick Ivan Herrera. I think he's going to hit a home
Told
run
me to
tonight.
take him too.
Yeah,
told
same with me.
everybody.
Yeah, well, I'm first.
Piddles was all over Herrera today. I'm not sure why. I'll make this easy. Two hits last night, single and a double, bumped up to the cleanup. Nolan Arenado for me.
Bump up to the cleanup.
Give me Mason Wynn for a three-pointer.
Daddy wants Mason Wynn.
Yeah. Is that who you're going with?
No. Give me
You can't take Burley.
Paul Goldschmidt. RL chalk, please. I don't feel great about it, but it'll be fine.
Thought you were going to go Carlson just because of the spite of it.
I thought about it. I did. I thought about it, but then I thought better. All right, we have Ryan O'Reilly. He's going to join us next. Who? It is We Went Blues Day here on 101 ESPN. We're celebrating the anniversary of the Blues hoisting that Stanley Cup. So, Ryan O'Reilly next on 101 ESPN. If you're in a situation right now where you need help with insurance paperwork on a damaged roof, or maybe it's a situation where you got an insurance claim denied because of your roof for whatever reason, but your neighbors have new roofs except for you, give my friends at Happy Roof a call, because when you do, they will work with your insurance company. They're fantastic. That's right. So everybody got roofs around you in the neighborhood. Maybe you had some hail damage, things like that. No problem. Everybody else's insurance companies, they stepped up except for yours. Call Happy Roof. They will call the insurance company. They work well with insurance companies. The Happy Roof can help. They have been in business right here in St. Louis for an extremely long time. 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs. Financing options available. Over 50 years combined experience in roofing, siding, and gutters. A-plus rating with the BBB. You got to give them a call. In fact, if you've got an issue and you call them today, they will have somebody look at your problem within 24 hours of when you call. 314-665-3001. TheHappyRoof.com. It's a Happy Roof Company.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals lose last night by a final of 2-1 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. We will get into the Cardinals throughout the remainder of the show, but we are going to be joined by 2019 Conn Smythe winner Ryan O'Reilly. We'll talk with Ryan O'Reilly coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Play to the blue line. Pietrangelo holds. Can't shoot. Waits. Straight away. Bouwmeester. Slap shot. He scores! Jay Bouwmeester with the puck deflected in front has given the St. Louis Blues a 1-0 lead. Ryan O'Reilly might have had a piece of it. And with 3:13 to go in the first period, the Blues have scored first in Game 7.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. I think we can all remember that moment pretty darn well. Well, let's talk to the guy that was part of that moment. Let's head out to the celebrity line and talk to former Blues captain, Conn Smythe Trophy winner, Ryan O'Reilly. Fact Daddy, how are we doing today?
I'm good, Riz. How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. So we'll get to winning the Cup in a second. I want to go in reverse here a little bit. You're playing in Buffalo, and things aren't going the way you want them to go. And then you get the call that you're going to be going to the St. Louis Blues. How are you feeling at that moment?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, it was, obviously like the rumors flying around everywhere and, nothing's really, kind of, catching steam, I guess. So I'm kind of sitting there hearing rumors, nothing's really going on. And I remember like Bozak signed with the Blues. I knew that was the case, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're off the table. And next thing you know, get the call from Doug, and I was just like, oh, no way. Like, obviously, playing against the Blues, that kind of hard to play against mentality. It was never, you had to fight for every inch out there. It was a team I always kind of like admired. I'm like, gosh, it's like just a solid defensive team, so tough to play against. Yeah, when I got that call and heading there, I was excited. I feel like this team is so close to winning, and then. Obviously, it didn't start off that way, very close. But we all know the story. But I remember like that first thing. It's like I got a chance to go, win here. And obviously, you never, you think it's possible, but to actually have it happen it's a dream. It's a dream come true. And I can't thank of Army and that organization for bringing me in and letting me be a part of something so special.
All right, you kind of touched on it. I'm going to go there. How are you feeling in December about it?
Yeah, it was weird. Like, especially too, not having success in Buffalo, not been on like a real winning team before. I'm like, I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, like the heck is going on? Like, this team thought it would be close and couldn't find it. Again, too, it was weird. I think like throughout that course, that 30 years, like we play, better teams in the league and we find a way to beat them. We're right there with them. And then, we play teams beneath us, kind of a little looser, and then, we'd lose. And it's like we couldn't really couldn't find anything. And, once I say kind of, I think dinner obviously came and gave us that spark, but also to things started to click. We kind of found that identity, which Chief helped so much with that, we knew we had something here. It was just kind of leaning into it, committing to it, and you just see what happened when it did. But it was December, definitely, we were all, we thought, hey, this might get blown up and everyone's going which way. So crazy.
Now, I've been in similar situations, certainly didn't win a cup as a player, but in situations to where at one point, like, there's so many talks that are happening between coaches and players and management and coaches. And was there a moment for you guys, just the players, where it was like that pure moment where you guys were like, okay, enough is enough, we need to turn this around? And then at what point did you really feel like it was turning around?
Yeah, I think, we had a big, right when kind of Chief took over, I think, we had a big meeting, and it was at the old Mills too, which feels like a lifetime ago since being in that room in this meeting. But I remember Chief's meeting, and like he set the tone. It was just like, enough is enough. It's like, we're leaving out there and we're going to play hard, and enough like the X's and O's being perfect. It's like we're just going to compete. And sure enough, we did. And then, I think once, having Binner come in there and just brought I think everyone was just so frustrated and kind of roller coaster, and Binner kind of came in with this swagger. It was just I'm doing my thing. I'm just going to go out there, and had confidence. And next, he stole a couple games for us, and then they got the momentum, and you could just kind of feel it was just oh boy, everyone just had this bring it on mentality. It's we don't care who we're playing. We're gonna make life so difficult on you, and we're gonna be right there. And that was kind of the two moments where I was all right, this is starting to get real fun.
Ryan O'Reilly joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Ryan, you bring up Chief. How long did it take for you guys to kind of buy into what he was saying? I mean, I know as you guys respected him, but you just mentioned, you're in the midst of a losing season. He takes over. How long before it kind of clicked for you guys as players? Oh yeah, he's got the right mentality for us.
Yeah, I think just the way our group was. I think he knew our group. I think getting to see it from an assistant coach's perspective and what we were. I think he knew exactly what we needed. It was an older team that, was competitive. And, when we tried to overdo things system-wise or tried to be something we weren't, that's when we had issues. And he just kind of grabbed that and just kind of let us get confidence in who we are. And that's, hey, we're just a mean team to play against. Yeah, sure, you're going to make mistakes, but if you're doing the right thing and playing hard, the rest of us will pick each other up. And that was kind of something he just kept enforcing. And it was just, the way we kind of rallied around that kind of gives me chills when I think about it, how that identity was kind of built with that.
So Ryan, I want to talk about today's date. You win the game 4-1. At what point during that game did you allow yourself to say, "Oh crap, I'm going to be a Stanley Cup champion"? What point did you finally let it go, or was it not until the final buzzer went off?
I know it's so funny. You get into playoffs, and especially that. I think the further you go, I've only obviously been to the finals once, but each series when you get up there and you realize how kind of close you're getting to it, that in order to kind of be at that, you have to be just in tune with just the next shifts, the next meal, the next, next time you go to bed. I just think it's so in tune just because you kind of keep your mind, obviously, you don't want to get thinking ahead. And I remember I was beside Bozak, probably 2.5-3 minutes to go. And I remember, might have been a bit less, but probably the 2-minute mark. And I look at him, I'm like, oh my God! We're gonna effing do this. he had a bad experience with Toronto and Boston when they came back in that last little bit, and he looked at me straight face and was just no, we don't, like this. Panicked, and I kind of was I looked up. I'm like, no, we got this. And then, sure enough, when that buzzer hit, just the look on everyone's face, coaching staff, everyone, just the pure joy. That is, it's tough. It's tough to explain. It's something you can't really explain. But just that, the look on every face. You guys know what each other have been through. You know what each guy did, not just players, but the training staff and just all those. How everyone was just a part of something so much bigger. It was just one of the most beautiful moments in that whole thing.
All right, we're going to get to the celebration in a second because there's a lot of things that happened with the parade and all that. That's so much fun. But I've always been curious as to how you guys readjusted after Game 6, because I was down there working the TV side of it. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the street. Game 6, home ice. And you guys, you didn't have your best game. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Internally, how did you guys just park that and move on?
Yeah. Well, to touch on that Game 6, it was such a crazy experience for it. Everyone had family coming in town, bugging it. I had buddies driving from Toronto, I'm on my way, I'm going to try to find tickets. And there's just so much noise around it, how everyone just thought we were doing it. And even coming to the rink, riding over, you're looking around, just the amount of people out there, just how they're almost already kind of starting to celebrate. It was a great lesson to realize in those situations how again too, you got to narrow that focus, because you just feel it. Everyone's just they're doing it tonight. We're doing it tonight. And for us, it's such a distraction. And once we lost, I think it was a perfect, I can't remember what was said, but I know that feeling was just we've been unbelievable on the road. all playoffs, all season. We're a road team. We love getting on the plane together and playing cards and having fun. And I think the big rig was still down a little bit to Bozy, so he needed that extra.
He needed one more trip.
I'm pretty sure he needed one more trip to kind of get back, or at least not be down as much. But I know it was just we got on the bird, and that was kind of the moment. I remember talking with Steiner too. It was just like everyone was just there was just an excitement on the bird, like just like, oh, this is what we do. We don't like anything easy. We love getting on the road, going to grind it out, and that's exactly what happened. Guys, just like, hey, this is what we do.
Ryan, so you mentioned the big rig. One of my the favorite moment for me in the entire run was when he scored against Boston and then looked at their bench and said, "You guys are bleeped." Like that was my favorite moment because I remember feeling, because you guys obviously you down one game, but I remember feeling like, oh, Big Brother's got us. Like,
oh, yeah.
The Big Brother just stepped up and like, you know what, we're not losing. Did you hear him say that from where you were? Do you remember feeling like, maybe not even in that moment, throughout the season, that Pat Maroon just had this kind of calm toughness about him, and you were just happy that the big rig was on the roster?
No, I definitely. Well, knowing the big rig and that whole year, he's always saying something. And it's tough to keep up with sometimes, all the stuff he's saying out there, the confidence and that. But no, he was just such an important piece, and a guy too that, like, no matter whether we were getting spanked or whether we were up a few or a tight game, he was always doing something. And that was, I think for them, him saying that, I remember people talking about it too, just like, gave us confidence and us more swagger too. And it's obviously for him, and he goes on to celebrate on how many cups he's won. Like, it's saying the person, the player he is, but like, I think that was just a key moment, and him just being such a key player that does so much that people don't see, or it's like it's not flashy what he does, but so effective, and he did just so much for us.
Well, Fact Daddy, I appreciate your time today. I know you're a busy man. It was an awesome experience to see you guys win that 2019 championship. Certainly something us alumni never got a chance to do for this city. And as an alumni, I want to thank you as being part of the players that involved us in all the festivities after. It was awesome. And just really happy you could join us today, bud.
Yeah, gosh, absolutely. I don't think there's a better alumni in the NHL with that group. And I said this too when I first got there, and kind of really helped, I think, me become a better leader, and obviously still trying to be a better leader. But the alumni, their involvement, the culture that was there, like, it wasn't just this group that came together in 19 and won a cup. Like I said, like, that culture that was built from yourself and alumni that have been there year after year, that take care of each other, show what it means to be a Blue. Such a vital part to how finally we were able to kind of get one and win one. And I learned so much from the veterans there, the ex-players there. It was just such a special thing that changed my life and really changed my career. I like, who knows where it could have went. And going to St. Louis, that education, having success there, I can't thank, again, all the alumni, the organization for everything. It's been just really a wonderful ride.
Well, the Blues fans everywhere, thank you. I can promise you that, buddy. Go enjoy your family, enjoy the off season, and we'll see you down the road, and good luck, man.
I appreciate it. I had one kid when we won. Now I've got three, and it's I'm going gray over here at the house. So I appreciate the call, and let me slip away for a sec here. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ryan,
for joining us.
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
That's Ryan O'Reilly here in the Fast Line on 101 at ESPN. Absolutely fantastic. Are we set up?
It looks like we're set up.
All right. We got Jon Hamm coming up next.
He heard us talking to O'Reilly. He can't stand to not be involved.
There you go. Jon Hamm, Hammer Time next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, you need to learn about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. At Scrap Mart, they understand that job site cleanup for contractors can be a mess, so if you set up a business account with them, they can recycle that metal. It'll be one less thing that you have to do. You'd be amazed at how scrap metals add up and can help your business's cash flow. If you own that heavy equipment, it often is breaking down. You have to repair it time and time again, and eventually it's going to break down for good, and you're going to need to haul it away. Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations, get you a check the same day, or if you want to haul it yourself, they have 3 convenient locations, Valley Park, Peevely, and Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. Batteries, electric motors, steel, cast iron, copper, wire, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, and so much more. It is recycling made easy. They offer convenient drive-on scale and will pay you the highest payout. You will always get top dollar for your scrap metals. Just visit them at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account today. That's at scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
So we actually have what's trending coming on right now. So on a day like this where we've got We Win Blues Day, we appreciate your patience if you're listening because schedules changes and things like that. Jon Hamm will be joining us, we hope, about 3:15.
Big Hollywood star. He's on set or something.
Yeah.
I think that means you should just listen all day.
Yeah.
That's a great call. You
never know when great things are going to happen.
You may hear sports. You may hear Jon Hamm. You may hear us talking about burgers.
Yeah, who knows?
Documentaries. We're big documentary fans.
We are.
So, you never know what you're going to hear. Yeah. All right, Marsh, you got what's trending for us?
Yeah, unfortunately, NBA all-time great Jerry West has passed away at the age of 86. What do you guys remember about Jerry West and how much of an impact did he have on the game of basketball? Obviously, he's the logo.
He's the logo.
Yeah, the logo for starters. And he was obviously instrumental in just growing the game. He was such a popular player, and obviously he became the logo, so obviously somebody that people respected, but Jerry West, Carey, I could be wrong. I feel like he's one of the pioneers.
Oh, yeah. As a basketball player, just the amount of success that he had, how many finals appearances he had, and I think only won one championship. I think the story that pops out to me is Shaq talks about it. He was upset because they were losing, didn't win a championship, and he came in and cleared out. They lost a game in the championship, and he came out and cleared out the entire locker room, all the food, knocked it over, and Jerry West came to him, what the hell are you doing? I lost 9 times in the finals. You're going to get it. Stop this nonsense. And Shaq, the large human being that he is, when Jerry West talks to you, just okay, all right, sorry. Guys, I got to control my emotions better probably. Yeah. But I think Jerry West just what he did as a player and then what he did as a front office person. I mean, he did so much in terms of building rosters and putting teams together and was integral in so many different organizations and the success that they had. He will, and obviously the logo is, I mean, how much more could you ask for it to be the logo of one of the big four sports in American, in America. So that's pretty awesome what he was and what he was able to do.
Guys, Aaron Rodgers is nowhere to be found. No, that's a joke. But according to Diana Rossini,
he's back in the darkness. Got hands all over him.
Yeah, well, his ancestors' hands, though. Yeah. Not just any hands.
That's the part that made it a little weirder to me.
Yeah.
So,
Carey, your thoughts?
I don't. Having hands on you in the dark it's okay.
It can be exciting.
Depends on whose hands they are, Jamie.
Very
exactly, Carey.
Yep. If you don't know, you don't know, though.
You don't know.
But your ancestors.
Until someone's hand covers the entire circumference of your head. You kind of know.
You kind of know it, though. That's a large hand.
Shaq. Mr. O'Neal.
Probably a large man.
Sorry, you were saying Aaron Rodgers, he's missing. Sure.
Yeah. Diana Rossini had this. Aaron Rodgers is skipping all of Jets' mandatory minicamp this week because he prefers to be somewhere else away from football. That is his choice. And Robert Saleh, head coach of the Jets, labeled it as an unexcused absence. So maybe he is in the darkness.
He's in the darkness.
I don't know.
All right. Listen, Tom Brady did this while going through a divorce, mind you. We didn't know then, but he had some personal things happening, and he did it following winning a Super Bowl, which, by the way, was his 7th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, you played one set of downs and blew out your foot, your Achilles, and you're skipping
time, Jamie.
Carey, stop.
The mental grind of rehabbing an Achilles tear when you're 48 years old. Have you ever torn an Achilles at 48?
No, not yet.
He's not 48.
Not yet. I'm working on it.
38.
Okay?
He hopes to.
I talked about cramping the other day. The Achilles might be next. You know when you're trying to dig in a little more?
Yes.
Like when you're running?
Yeah, it's bad.
You never know.
Carey Davis, if this is your quarterback, my quarterback, if this is your quarterback who hasn't played at all for the Jets, and he's supposed to be your savior.
It's a problem.
Okay.
Because you need to work on timing with receivers. You had an entire year off, an entire season off, working on timing with the receivers, offensive line, knowing where you are in the pocket, understanding, the offense and how your play caller wants to call plays and kind of construct a game plan. Aaron Rodgers could probably just show up on game day. He's probably that good, future Hall of Famer, multiple-time MVP. It may not be that big of a deal, but for the other players that are looking for their star quarterback to lead them to a championship, you want to be a team guy. And this kind of screams, not team, me first.
I was watching a documentary one time, and this one coach was telling a young rookie quarterback, just kind of the process of being a quarterback.
Yeah.
And he said, you're not a wide receiver or some flash in the pan cornerback. You're quarterback. Numero uno.
Yeah.
Starts with
Everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
Go back to the playground.
Legendary. Yeah, go back. Go to your mama's Buick. Turn around. I'll throw you the ball.
100 different hands on my body.
Yeah, we know.
Aaron Rodgers got to get his ass to camp.
He should.
I mean, come on. You missed all of last year. You've got a team bending over backwards for you. Anything you need. What wide receivers do you want, Aaron? Let's get you going here. He did this with the Packers too.
Yeah,
maybe that's just who he is.
Young wide receivers, and then everybody blamed the wide receivers. Similar group that Jordan Love had no issue winning with a year ago. For Aaron, though, with the wide receivers weren't good enough. Okay, get out. I hope he plays every down this year, and I hope the Jets go 2 and whatever. Colton Parayko next on 101 ESPN.
Get on your feet. Raise them high. 5 seconds to go, and the time winds down. They did it. It's over. The game is over. The series is over. The wait is over. And the St. Louis Blues are the Stanley Cup champions for the first time in franchise history.
Well, that's a good sound right there. Welcome back to the Fast Lane 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers here, Anthony Stalter, Super Bowl champion Carey Davis alongside us. We head up to the celebrity line now. Talk to Blues defenseman Colton Parayko. Colton, how are you doing today, bud?
Hey, good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. So when you hear that countdown in the return there, we asked Ryan O'Reilly the same thing. At what point in the game did you think it could actually come to fruition that you guys were going to win the cup?
I don't know. I guess all the way down to the final countdown, kind of when it gets that much more exciting. But I don't know. Obviously, you go into the game kind of expecting to win, I guess, and obviously it's a good team. Obviously, we played on the other side, but you kind of go in expecting to win. But I think from kind of the last little countdown that you got almost, that's when we kind of, I guess, gets more exciting.
So now, if we go back a little bit in that season before things kind of turned around, you're a young defenseman at that point, and you're amongst a pretty good veteran group of players, but you guys are underperforming. As a young guy, for you, how hard was that? And then who, in your opinion, who is one of the guys you looked up to in those moments to try and help you through it?
Yeah, obviously being kind of my fourth or fifth year in the league, I guess at that point was still kind of new and still trying to soak in everything and learn a lot, and obviously still now that's the case. But it's one of those things where you kind of look to the veteran players and guys that maybe have been through it before, or guys that can kind of help you, like you said. And all those veteran guys that we had, all the leadership group at the time, it was guys that you could lean on and guys that were pointing the ship in the right direction and making sure everybody was jumping on board and making sure that we were all going in the right direction. So all the old guys, all the veterans, leadership group was great to lean on and guys that we wanted to follow.
Colton, we got done talking to Ryan O'Reilly last hour, and he had mentioned Jordan Binnington. Do you remember your first impressions of Binner when he came in, and how long did it take for you, like, man, this kid can play?
Yeah, for sure. We had a little stint down together as well in the AHL. I think we were roommates, actually. But just right away, he's a competitor, just how dialed in he is, how focused he is, how just everything about him. He's a special player, special goalie, and obviously as Blues players and franchise and fans and everybody, we're obviously really lucky to have him. And he's a special player.
Colton, I want to take you to the day of the parade. When we won the Super Bowl in Pittsburgh, it felt like the entire city was outside and you were unable to move. I'm sure it felt that way for you. What moments do you remember the most about that day that you can tell us about?
Oh, man, that day was unreal. One of, if not the best days of my life, I think. Just like you said, it's so cool where you get the whole city behind you, just everybody downtown, and just everything leading up to it, even just like little events that we did before, and just going to the brewery with the team in the cup, and moving on to the parade, and I don't know, just the whole situation is unreal with the whole city, the whole fan base behind you. Just such a cool feeling, and I think that's one of the best things about sports is it brings cities together, and it was just super. I don't even know how to describe it. Cool too. I don't know if cool seems like a low word, but experience that. Like, I don't even know how to describe it right now. It was just so cool. Like, it was unreal.
What time did? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, there's so many cool things to remember about that day. I mean, I know you asked that too, but I mean, just going with the fans. I think we were all kind of jumping off the trucks and trying to have fun with the fans and things like that too. And that was a lot of fun. And then obviously down at the Arch with the background of the Arch and filled up that whole area was unreal.
What time did you start drinking and what time did you stop drinking?
I think as soon as we got into the locker room after we won, and then I don't even know, maybe a week after, I don't even know.
Yes.
it was fun. We had a really good group of guys, and everyone was just, I don't know, it's one of the best moments. We've kind of, you won as well, and it's those things where you grow up, and that's the dream, is to win Stanley Cup, and for you the Super Bowl, and just to be able to achieve that was exciting and amazing.
We're talking with Blues defenseman Colton Parayko here on 101 ESPN. Colton, I asked this of Ryan O'Reilly earlier, and he was a veteran guy. You were a younger guy on the team at this particular moment, but I want to know, how you felt following Game 6, because I was down there doing some of the TV stuff, and there was, hundreds of thousands of people down by Enterprise Center, and you guys go out there, and it didn't go the way you wanted, to say the least. But then you guys had to get on a plane and head back to Boston. As a young guy, how were you processing that, and how hard was it for you to kind of leave that behind?
Yeah, like you said, obviously that wasn't the best game of the series for us, that's for sure. But I mean, I guess we kind of going back to earlier, like you touched on, the older veteran players and leadership group that kind of just made us all feel a little bit better about hitting the reset button as a whole. Kind of making us look at the series as it's a one-game kind of series now at this point, and winner of one game is it. So obviously long series, long season, but I think I guess I don't know how to put this, but earlier on in the season when we kind of turned things around, we put together 11-game win streak, and after that 11-game win streak, it was one of the things, if we lost the game, we almost were like, okay, that's fine. We're going to move on, and we're going to win the next game. Like we came into each game expecting to win. So I think after we put that little win streak together, it's one of those things where if we lost the game, we just hit the reset button and got back right to work the next night. So I think that's kind of what we did there, and we came out and obviously had a great Game 7.
Colton, I was teammates with Jay Bouwmeester when he first came into the league, and I'll tell you something. Jay Bo, a man of few words, even as a young 18-year-old running around South Florida with me, and he, fast forward to that year in particular, you end up being partnered up with Jay Bouwmeester, who, I mean, I think everybody knows he's a fantastic individual, but he doesn't say a whole lot, but when he does speak, it carries a lot of weight. So for you, how much of an impact did he have on you, and how much did you lean on him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was huge for me in lots of different ways, on and off the ice. I mean, lean on him a ton for tons of different things. His family was, they hosted myself a few times, more than a few times, plenty of times for dinners and things like that outside the rink, and that was just nice to have as a young guy. And just made you felt more kind of part of everything. And so that was pretty special. And that being said, it was a guy that has pretty much won everything, too, in his hockey career up to that point with the Olympics and World Championships and World Juniors and things like that. So it's just being able to kind of associate yourself or be at that guy's house with his family. And it just was a cool experience for a young guy like me. So special to have a teammate like him. I know I can speak for everybody on the team. He's a special teammate, and we're lucky to have him. And he helped me a lot on the ice too. He get some trouble, pass over to Jabo, and he'll take care of it. So he's a special player, and I'm just glad I got those years with him.
Colton Parayko joining us for a couple more minutes here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Colton, non-media questions. So not when you're around media like us, but or idiots like us. When fans ask you about the Stanley Cup run or the season, or family members ask you, what's the question you get the most?
Ooh, I don't even know.
There's got to be one where people just they ask you constantly.
What would you do with the Cup Day? Pretty much that was one thing you get quite a bit, like explaining your Cup Day.
Sure.
How heavy was it? Things like that, I guess.
So nothing about your play or how much fun you had or how great you did. Just tell me about the Cup.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think I don't even know. There's like so many different questions. Even you can sit down with someone, just talk about the play, talk about the series, talk about. Sometimes we just talk about the grind of how hard it was to go through those 4 series, and like sometimes it's a little bit of luck that gets involved too, and everything that kind of comes together and how it all comes together at the right time. But I don't know. Those are kind of mainly the questions, I guess, around the Cup, I think.
Well, Colton, we appreciate your time today on the anniversary of the 2019 championship win for you guys. It was an awesome moment. It was cool to be an outsider looking in and watching you guys do your thing. So, again, appreciate your time. Have a great offseason, buddy, and we'll talk to you soon.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Colton Parayko here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Now we are scheduled to be joined by Jon Hamm. He's on set, so hopefully we'll get a chance to
Can't believe
chat
his
with him.
director holds more weight than us.
It's kind of ridiculous. Maybe that'll be our first question. With Jon Hamm, St. Louis's own, next on 101 ESPN.
Father's Day right around the corner, and if you are looking for something easy yet incredibly special that truly shows your dad how much he means to you, then I have it for you with a gift certificate from Sound Story. Sound Story is a professionally produced hour-long conversation where your dad gets to tell stories. You got Randy Carricker, Tim McKern, Anthony Stalter that are going to talk to your dad and ask him questions about growing up, maybe a school he went to, his first job, his first love, maybe being a father for you and your siblings, and just so many amazing memories that are going to be kept digitally forever for you guys to listen to. And there's more. They're now offering a video option. So not only can you hear these stories, you can actually see your dad telling these stories, and you can play that for your kids, your grandkids, as many family members as you want. And you have that forever. It really is the perfect gift for Father's Day. And all you have to do is go to mysoundstory.com, enter promo code ESPN to get this Father's Day special of 10% off gift certificate for Sound Story. Again, to get that 10% off, you have to enter promo code ESPN at mysoundstory.com. Sound Story, for you, for them, forever. It's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers alongside Anthony Stalter and Super Bowl champion Carey Davis. We head out to the celebrity line now to be joined by our buddy Jon Hamm. Hammer time, how we doing?
Riv, how we doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'll tell you what, my feelings are a little bit hurt. I'm not going to lie, because I thought we were a big deal. Then apparently, like, your director and the people on set might have a little more clout than us.
As much as I love to be as accessible as I can, I still haven't figured out how to be in two places at once. So, when I figure that out, I'll get back to you. It'll make my life a lot easier.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Well, I forgive you. I don't know about Anthony, but I forgive you. Okay?
Well, thank you.
John, come on.
All right, let's go in the time machine here, the hot tub time machine, and head back to 2019. It's a bit of a roller coaster for the players and the fans alike, and I know you're a huge Blues fan.
Oh, man.
How crazy was that year?
Well, it was crazy, obviously. It's unprecedented, not only in the history of our club, but in the history of, I think, the NHL. No one had come back from being absolute dead last in the league to even make the final, much less win the whole damn thing, and that's sure as shit what we did, pardon my French. And it was so great to be a part of it. I was able to bring my best friend who I grew up with and went to school with, John Simmons. He came all the way back from Australia to catch a couple games. We won one, we lost one, and even work even got me. I couldn't even go to the Game 7 because I was at work up in Vancouver. Thankfully, I was in Vancouver, where they also share a healthy hatred of the Boston Bruins because of the events of 2011. So I was in very friendly confines, but I jumped on a plane the very next day, and I came back just in time to celebrate with the guys and go to the team dinner and go out and go down to the brewery and drink out of the cup, and then of course go to the insane parade the next day where we all watched Brett Hull become even more legendary.
So, John, was that your most favorite moment from the parade? At least one that you can remember was Hully doing his thing, or is there another moment?
There were two moments. One of which I was kind of a part of. I got to hold the cup and raise it above my head, and I didn't know this, but Jake Allen, who was standing behind me, took a picture of me, which was the home screen on my phone for a solid 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. But honestly, one of the coolest memories I had from that was sitting on the steps, kind of behind the stage, under the arch, the stairs that go down to the river there, with Chris Thorburn, of all people. And Thorbs and I were just sitting there talking, and I was like, how good does this feel, man? It's got to be the end of what amazing journey. He was like, yeah, I think I'm going to retire this year. This is the only way to go, is to go out on top. And I was like, God, what a great feeling. And it just felt, it was such a quiet moment, but it was so pleasant, especially with a guy like Chris, who's, a journeyman and has seen a lot and had the best way to go out that you could possibly think. So it made me feel really good.
As a fan of the Blues and being so for such a long time, what was that roller coaster ride of a playoff run like? When you finally go through the stress of, this is a terrible team, oh my God, they're really good, they're going to make it to the playoffs, and now you have a roller coaster run. What was that like for you?
I mean, there were all of the emotions. I remember listening to the game, the overtime game in Dallas. When Maroon scored, I listened to that thing on a plane, where I'm trying to get Wi-Fi on a plane and listen to the thing and go, Jesus, I can't, I get the Wi-Fi keeps cutting out and it's going to overtime and double overtime. And you don't want to be that guy on a plane who's got a headphone in and like screaming and yelling, but I was definitely that guy. So sorry to everybody on the American Airlines flight that I happened to share with, but I think they understood by the end of it. And the rest of it was, all of those feelings, coming in and then finally getting to the final. And after all of, the hand pass incident, which I watched in a bar in New York City and with a big group of St. Louisans who I didn't know, just happened to be there. And we were all, sort of justifiably incensed. And I made the proclamation, like, it doesn't matter. We're going to win this. We're going to win the next game. We're going to win the series. And that's what we did. So it was pretty great, to kind of not have any of those terrible things, those runs of bad luck. You can, if you're a real Blues fan, you can look back over the course of the history of our franchise and find a million of those that have gone against us, and to have the breaks that finally go our way, that was really, really awesome.
Yeah, I remember a few of those other incidents. Hammer, I try not to think about those very often.
None of us like to talk about those, but we all know exactly where we were when those happened, too.
Yeah, we don't talk about the Yzerman slap shot underneath the cross.
No, we don't, do we? I screwed the television remote control through a window on that one.
Hey, buddy, you know what? Obviously, you've been in so many movies, and that side of things, you're very well known, certainly extremely well known. How was it for you to just be a fan of the Blues, but also people recognizing you now as a Blues fan?
It was tremendous. I mean, part of it was, again, being able to come back home to St. Louis and spend it with the guys I grew up with, my friends. You know, we're now in our 50s, but you know, you go back to you flash back to times when you were a kid, going to the old arena, and it's 17 different names of the Tickerdome and all the other, you know, names that it's had over the course of the years. And I can remember, you know, being young again, and then walking down to Keener Plaza and seeing everybody and seeing families and seeing kids for whom this is their first, you know, experience of playoff hockey. So that part of it was amazing. It felt amazing. I think must have been the Stanley Cup final. The Cardinals were in town playing the Cubs, and the Blues were in town playing in the Cup final, and it was a real celebration. Everybody flying their colors and looking good, and really proud to be a St. Louis. And that was the most exciting part for me. It was the real pride that was represented in obviously when we won. The parade was the best example of that, but all of the other stuff was pretty great too. And we turned out for the cameras, but we also turned out for ourselves and for our teams, and we got celebrated and rewarded for it.
St. Louis's own Jon Hamm joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. John, I love that you can break down exactly where you were in certain moments. I mean, it just showcases how your absolute love for St. Louis sports. I'm interested, you growing up in St. Louis, you being a big Blues fan, Cardinals fan. Who was your Blue growing up, and why was it Jamie Rivers?
Riv came around a little later in my fandom. I was probably already in LA, but you know, for me it was Shanahan, Hall, Chase, that whole era. I had just gotten out of college and was back in St. Louis working in a restaurant in Clayton, and the guys would usually come in after the game, and I was either bartending or waiting tables, and they were always really good tippers, and they were always eat and drink a ton because that's what they do after games. and we got to know them, and they were always very friendly. And so then, you know, fast forward 15, 20 years when I'm doing what I do and coming back to games, and I ran into Brendan Shanahan in the Olympics in Vancouver in 2010, and he was like, "No way, you worked at Cardinals? That was crazy. We used to always go there." I said, "Yeah, I used to see you guys in there all the time." And those become actual friendships, you know, and it's time happens to all of us, unfortunately. But if you have the memories and put the time in, it pays off.
John, you said you're on set right now. Are you able to tell us what you are working on?
I'm working on a new show for Apple called Your Friends and Neighbors. We're shooting up in upstate New York, and it'll come out next year at some point. There's no real release date yet, but it's a drama for Apple, and I'm very excited to do it. Me and Amanda Peet and Olivia Munn, and I've been doing that since April. I'll be doing it all through the summer here in New York. It's pretty great.
Well, John, if you get some downtime and you want to watch a thrilling film called Painkiller, you can watch it on Tubi. It's a young black actor named Carey Davis. His stellar acting, great former football player, Super Bowl champion. He's a good guy. If you get bored one day, just check him out, see what you think. You know, if you need
all I hear about is Tubi. That's all I hear about.
Check him out. Check him out.
John, just a couple more things for you here. One, just listening to you talk about being here in St. Louis and then, working at Cardwell's. Man, I remember some days at Cardwell's. Party in the Park days at Cardwell's were fun.
Yep. Yes, they were.
But, you get a chance, and I know how I felt, being able to share that moment with the players, the coaches, the trainers, the fans. For you grew up here, you watched all those different teams. How was it for you being able to share that moment with the current team and, them kind of embracing you into the group and having you be a part of all of it?
It was tremendous. It was a tremendous honor. I'm just a fan. I never even grew up playing hockey. I wasn't fortunate enough to have access to either the ice time or the equipment or anything. It was just, I always loved the game. I just appreciated it so much. And over the course of the years of being a fan and going to games, I got to meet so many of the guys through various avenues, and one of the biggest guys that I met and became pals with was Alexander Steen. And Steener and I just were buddies. We would throw each other a text every now and again in the off season, seeing how you're doing and how's everything holding up, and wishing him luck in the playoffs every year. And this year was no different. And then he was the first guy that I texted after they won, and he was the first guy to text me back. And he said, "Get on a plane. You're coming to team dinner because we're going to go out and celebrate." And I was like, "That's all I needed to hear." I was like, "Find a plane to get me from Vancouver to St. Louis, and I'm there."
It was awesome, man. It was fun sharing those moments with the players and alongside you as well. And I just think too, just the moment itself, just how incredible it really was. And the parade was such a massive success too. You've got to be thrilled that the Blues were able to do that at least once in your lifetime.
Absolutely. That's why I said when I brought my buddy in from Australia, I said, there's no guarantee that this is ever going to happen again. It took us 52 years to get there the first time, so maybe let's get you on a plane and we'll figure it out later. We can always hire a babysitter or something for your kids. Just get on a plane, and he did, and we're it was a great memory for not only him but his little brother, who I've known since he was a little kid too. And like I said, it's a once in a lifetime thing. I can't believe it's been 5 years, but I hope before too long the pieces fall in the right places and we get to do it all again, because it sure was an amazing experience.
Yeah, it really was. And like you said, hopefully we do it again soon. So, and one of my favorite things, guys, too, that you don't know, that maybe our listeners don't know, is I love getting text bombs from Jon Hamm when he's watching Blues hockey. And maybe he's had a soda or two, I'm not sure. And then they just come flying in with passion. I love those moments, buddy. Keep them coming.
You know it. Well, the best is the response, especially when I know you're between the benches and I can chirp you a little bit. It's always pretty fun.
Yeah, well, I enjoy it too. Keeps me on my toes, so to say.
There you go.
All right, buddy.
I didn't say the banger, so I don't feel,
No.
You get equal opportunity.
I love the challenge, baby. I love the challenge. All right, buddy, get back onto set. We don't want you to get in any trouble. I really appreciate your time.
Back now. Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, John.
We went. That's all we can say. We went. We will continue to go, and I hope to see you guys all in person pretty soon.
You got it, buddy. Have a good one, man. Take care.
Excellent. Talk soon.
All right. That was St. Louis's own Jon Hamm. It's crazy, right? You're listening to him, and it's just like talking to a buddy that might be from St. Louis, where he's breaking down. Yeah, I was here. I mean, he's a star. Right. So when he's talking about it, he's like, yeah, I was in LA, I was in New York. But just listening to him talk about where he was, he knew where he was. Certain moments, Pat Maroon, Game 7 goal, or one of the moments that he had, the hand pass game and all that. You could tell like he is diehard St. Louis sports.
Oh, guys.
And he makes it so genuine, so relatable, and such a good dude.
He fires off. Like, he'll get angry during games, referee with a bad call, and all of a sudden my phone's buzzing mid-game. He's passionate, man.
That's awesome.
He's a good dude, and we appreciate his time for sure.
There's no doubt. All right, we're going to continue with the We Went Blues Day. Alex Pietrangelo will join us at 4:15, so we still have at least one more interview to come. But let's dive back into the Cardinals, too. Miles Mikolas, outstanding performance last night. He went toe-to-toe with Paul Skeens, and he was excellent. Is he rounding back into form? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Are you currently looking to sell your home, or you're trying to get your house ready to sell? Maybe you don't understand the market. It is crazy out there. Houses are selling for much more than they're listed for, only in certain areas. The timing of your listing is important. This is why you need to trust Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. Well, first of all, her name says it all, and the experience that she brings to the table for you and the sale of your home is excellent. The customer service is excellent. And Gloria, she has the buyers for you. She's got a database with thousands of buyers that are ready, willing, and able to purchase your home. And what that does, it drives so much more traffic to your listing, and it drives up the price. Maybe you get multiple offers, and then you can pick the best offer, and then Gloria Liu gets you to the closing table. And while she does that, she holds your hand the entire way, making sure that you're comfortable with the process and how everything's going. So please pick up the phone, call Gloria Liu today. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates last night by a final score of 2-1. They'll take on the Pirates once again as Sonny Gray will take the mound going up against Bailey Falter. First pitch is at 6:45. If you missed any of our interviews today as we are celebrating We Went Blues Day, the 5th-year anniversary of the Blues winning the 2019 Stanley Cup. We've talked with Ryan O'Reilly, Colton Parayko, and Jon Hamm. We will talk with Alex Pietrangelo at 4:15, but if you missed any of those interviews, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com. You can see those interviews will be featured on the main page, and you can also go to the podcast page where you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We're going to dive into Miles Mikolas' performance last night. Is Miles Mikolas rounding back into form? That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Boy, Miles Mikolas looked fantastic last night. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, Marsh mentioned it in the Sports Center update.
We weren't listening. Love you though, Marshy.
At least
that makes me feel good.
At least 9 times a show. Well, how about this, man? I mean, when I tease stuff, they still don't listen.
That's fair.
But at least that's like a couple of minutes into the break. Marsh, I
literally just said it 2 seconds ago.
You did. Yeah.
Did you hear him, Jamie?
When?
Exactly.
Right now?
I listened to you, Marsh.
Oh,
I
Marshy.
listened to you. Yeah.
His Sports Center update was incredible.
It was. Might have been the best you've done.
Anyways.
I get choked up.
So Miles Mikolas
He knows that we have proved me wrong later today.
That's a good call.
I do know that.
Miles Mikolas was outstanding last night. Yeah. Is he rounding back into form? His numbers are pointing in the right direction. He's got a 4.85 ERA, but the fielding independence percentage is 4.32. So that would indicate that the ERA is a little higher than how well he's actually pitching. So 7 scoreless innings last night. Couldn't have asked for much more out of him. Just allowed 2 base runners on the evening. I mean, that was a clash in style, certainly from Paul Skeens and Miles Mikolas, but each were effective. Mikolas needed just 84 pitches to get through 7 innings. We saw in the previous start that he made, that was the one where he was also efficient, and it was pulled early because Oli Marmol wanted to line up his bullpen the way he did. It worked out well, but this is a couple of starts now for Miles that he has looked very sharp. The numbers are there. The walk rate, kind of on par with where he normally is. Strikeout rate, never been a high strikeout guy. On par with his normal strikeout rate for his career. Home runs a little higher, home run rate a little higher. Other than that, he's right on. He's on his career path right now. What did you guys say?
We get a text, first of all, from Thanks Dad, who provides a healthy amount of humor.
He certainly
to
does.
the text line. He says, Pittsburgh Sports Talk Radio was in a frenzy about facing the phenom Mikolas.
I'm sure they were.
It's not fair. It's funny. It's not fair.
It's very funny.
No, I thought that Miles Mikolas, I said it earlier.
They don't know the Pirates exist.
That's a good point.
In Pittsburgh?
Nobody's listening. Probably not. I thought Miles Mikolas, we talked about it at the top of the show, just the mental toughness it takes to be in there competing against another guy who's playing so well. And Skeens he was throwing grease BBs all night. And when you're the pitcher on the other side, in order to give your team a chance to win the game, like matching him pitch for pitch, that's a lot. Going toe-to-toe, that's a lot to expect. But he did. What, he has 6 innings? 6 hitless innings?
Yep.
That's pretty impressive, man. Like, he gave his team a chance to win that game. Now, they couldn't hit the ball from Skeens and ultimately couldn't hit the ball very much throughout the whole game, but the pitcher did his job, man.
Yeah.
I thought he did outstanding. The first hit he gave up was a triple to Reynolds, and was able to get out of that inning. You had the double play. I think that was a double play with Arenado and being able to tag the base. Everything seemed to be working really well for Miles Mikolas last night. He doesn't hit, and there's no way for him to help himself in terms of putting runs on the board because he's not able to take a bat. And even if he did, he would wouldn't be very good at it because most pitchers weren't. So it's just unfortunate to have that type of performance against. We were so excited to see Paul Skeens, and Miles Mikolas said, "No, you come see me tonight."
Yeah.
And that's essentially what he did. He took the no-hitter into the 6th inning. It did a great job. To the 7th inning, did a great job and was outstanding, lights out. And as a pitcher, to perform that well and not get the win, or not get anything out of it because your offense was unable to sustain, an inning and put runs across the plate. It's got to be extremely frustrating for him to have a night like that. Obviously, you're great. You're excited that you performed that well, but to not get the win, to not get the run support, that part of it has to be extremely frustrating.
So we talked about, we opened up the segment asking the question, posing the questions. Miles Mikolas rounding back into form. So here are the numbers. After reaching mid-May with a 6.19 ERA, he has now thrown 4 consecutive quality starts. He's slashed almost 1 1/3 runs off his ERA in his past 25 innings by limiting opponents to 8 runs total. That's from Derek Gould's post-game wrap-up there from last night. So 6.19 ERA in mid-May. He has taken 1.5 runs off his ERA his past 25 innings. He has given up a total of 8 runs in those last 25 innings. Again, 4 consecutive quality starts. Yeah, he has rounded back into form. Yes, he is Miles Mikolas again. And it's good to see. He's a veteran. They need him. They need him to do what he did last night. They need him to eat innings. That's the Cardinals. That's kind of their game plan. That's what they want. That's why they signed Lance Lynn. That's why they signed Kyle Gibbs. Clearly, they want pitchers to eat innings right now.
I kind of hate that term, though.
Eat innings?
Yeah, I understand the concept of it. But
offensive?
Well, a little bit. I mean, for certain people. I just feel like that eating innings to me sounds like, I don't really care how well you pitch. Just don't get out in the 3rd or 4th inning. Get me to the 5th and we'll be like.
Yeah.
I think what he did last night was more than eat innings. He pitched his ass off. He was outstanding last night, and I would prefer those types of performance. Now, you're not going to get seven innings of no hit ball every single night, but if you can limit the amount of runs that the opposing team is gonna have, if you can eliminate the amount of hits that the opposing team is gonna have, I think those, to me, innings just sounds like just do just enough to get us to the bullpen. Mm-hmm. Just give me I need more than just eating innings, if that makes sense. I want my pitchers to perform at a level to where you're putting us in a position to win the game. And eating innings just sounds like, oh, we're gonna do okay. We're gonna do just as much as we can, and we'll get us to the bullpen, and hopefully at that point we'll be able to win the game. Yeah, I don't want that.
I understand your view on that.
Mm-hmm.
The way I look at it, my interpretation is if he's eating innings, meaning if he's in the 6th or 7th inning, it means he's pitching good enough to still be in the game, hence still giving your team a chance to win.
That I agree.
So,
with.
but I understand what you're saying. Just I don't need a good pitcher, just a guy who eats innings.
Yeah. I don't want
it doesn't necessarily equate to pitching great or pitching good.
Because we've had guys that are eating innings, but are they like Kyle Gibson has eaten innings in a game where he got beat up in the first couple of innings. So you had to eat the rest of them and finish your meal.
Carey, what would you like us to call it from now on?
I don't know. Good pitcher.
I want the fast lane, especially
you, Carey. Not a belly itcher? I don't know.
Make up a name for it.
Well, let me
you don't
think
have to
about
do it on the spot.
All right,
no pressure.
Dominate faces.
But then you're insinuating dominating.
Strike these fast lanes out.
Ooh. Strike these mother fast lanes out.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
What about quality start?
No, Marsh.
That's already a
thing
that they use.
I haven't really seen a ton.
I threw out dominate faces.
Yeah.
Carey threw out strike these fast lanes out.
Yeah.
I went over and
Mother
said
fast lanes.
Mother fast lanes, and then you come back with quality starts. I don't know if that's in theme with what we're going for.
He's a good kid, Anthony.
He's a real good kid, and his innocence right now is it's breathtaking.
Hey,
it's showing.
Don't take that from him.
True.
Don't you take
what?
his innocence.
You know what, Marsh? We're going to consider that.
All right.
All right.
See, that's the father in you right there.
Yeah.
So
but you're giving me the other father is giving me fatherly advice right now. now, and I'm taking it. I'm like, Marsh, that's
What about do
great
your
effort.
damn job? How about that? It's a little bit better.
Shifting gears.
A little better. A little better.
Bill Belichick-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
But he
your
added
job.
a
Just
damn.
do your job.
Do your
Yeah, he
damn
did.
job. Okay.
Right.
All right. It's way different.
He
here.
added a fast lane twist to it.
All right.
He did. A little bit of an edge to it.
How about Hammer Time dropping
The S-bomb?
Yeah.
Then he goes, pardon my French.
Right. No.
I was like, John, I speak French. That wasn't French.
Yeah. I thought
love
for
it.
sure he did it so early. I'm like, oh no,
It's gonna be one of those.
He's gonna do it again.
He caught himself. He's a pro.
He is a pro.
I think he strategically did that.
Get you on your game. Make sure you were paying attention.
Yeah.
Unlike Jamie and I when Marshy's doing his Sports Center updates.
No, yeah. But I also
Pay attention.
feel like that was the passion also coming through that he dropped an S-bomb.
Yeah, very, very passionate man.
YouTubers got to hear it, though.
Yeah, they did.
For my next Sports Center update, I might just start saying random stuff just to see if they pick up on it.
They probably won't.
No, Jamie Rivers went 4 2/3 last night on the mound.
Right. Way deeper than that. I'm a quality start guy.
Marsh, what's amazing about Jamie specifically is he doesn't miss a sexual innuendo.
He does not.
What?
He does not miss
not a
those.
one.
What are you even talking about?
Not a one.
He doesn't miss those.
Even if it's like,
Even if it's right in your face.
Yeah.
well,
like
no,
that right
I was
there.
going to say, even if it wasn't right in your face, he's not missing it.
Yeah, he does a good job.
That's a good point.
But ask what the next segment is.
Yeah.
But what I say and how you interpret it, that's on you. Because there's things I say that have absolutely nothing to do with sexual innuendos. And you guys take it that way. So how you
get your head out of the gutter.
How you take it from me, that's your problem.
It's not about how you give it.
No, it's how you take it.
All right.
Prove me wrong is next on 101 ESPN.
Today's a day where a couple years ago I would have been just done, tired and just depressed and irritable, all that stuff. But thanks to mentality, that has changed. Went in there, found out I was low in testosterone and a couple other vitamins, and then we've expanded my program to peptides to help with old injuries and things like that. It has been amazing. Anthony, I know you have had a similar experience, but I can't thank mentality enough.
I've had my own experience, personal experience, but I've seen it with you too. We've been doing a show now for several years, before mentality, now with mentality, and I can tell you, watching Jamie operate his camp and all morning long, and then come in, his shows are a lot different. I'll tell you that much. But when it comes to mentality, they got 2 locations, one in Chesterfield, one in South County. Go in there and see for yourself. Tell them that Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. They'll tell you flat out that we see those guys each and every week. We love the program. I feel it from an energy standpoint. I go throughout the weekends, take care of everything I have to. I have 3 young kids who are always running around, my wife Kristen and I, but I really enjoy just every aspect of life because, man, I feel like I'm doing everything to its fullest. I don't feel run down. I don't feel depressed. I don't feel like, all right, great, what do we have coming up now? No, I'm like, all right, hey, what do we have coming up now? You're going to feel fantastic as well. So go visit them, the 2 locations that we talked about, or at lowtusa.com. It's mentality.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We have just stepped into the courtroom with the Honorable Andrew Marsh. It's time to play Prove Me Wrong. This is where you send in a text. It's basically a statement.
Yeah.
And then it's up to the law firm of Davis, Rivers, and Stalter to convince the judge that you're wrong.
Yeah.
You guys are off to a hot start today.
He's covering up that great head of hair with that awesome hat. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
That couldn't have been any well said.
I was kind of paying attention, and then I was like, that was really good.
That was incredible.
Really good.
Just great head of hair.
Yeah. Covering up that great head of hair with that awesome hat. Well done. Judge, good to see you.
Great to see you.
All right, now pay attention.
I'll try. This is hard.
And
This is hard. Like, wait, do I?
Which side am I on?
What is our first case?
I'm going to give you a softball here. From the 314, prove me wrong. St. Louis City is the closest team to having the next parade down Market Street.
Oh, you mean the team that can't win? That one? Team that settles for draws? Oh, I'm sorry. The club that settles for draws constantly? Can't win a game, can't score? That one?
From
Judge.
Francis Fan Club. Prove me wrong. McDavid and McKinnon are the only NHL players making over $10 million per year who are actually worth it. Barkov and Bobrovsky are exactly $10 million, so they do not count.
Have you seen a guy called Austin Matthews who put up 62 goals last year? Been a long time since somebody has done that. You can work your way through several teams and see guys that are worth $10+ million. Connor McDavid, what's he making? 13 or 14 million? How many cups does he have in his 9 years? Oh, 0, right? So if we like statistics and things like that, that's fine. Yeah, that's fun for the stats guys. But I like championships, Carey. I know you do too.
Love championships.
You wear that ring so damn proud all the time, and you should.
Yeah,
because that was a team effort.
I appreciate
you damn well earned it.
Yep.
So we're talking about guys who make $10 million, nobody else is worth it. Are you kidding me? Talk to the champions, the people like the Nikita Kucherovs with several cups under his belt. He's underpaid in my books. Please.
Well done, Jamie. Well done.
Good job.
From the 573, prove me wrong.
Yes. Do I?
From the 573, prove me wrong. The Cardinals will not make a major trade.
I mean, when you talk about major, what are you speaking of? The Cardinals are a major league team, so therefore they will make a major trade at the trade deadline. They are going to do all of the things that they need to do. All of the things that they need to do to be in a you two. Why did you start laughing?
It's just a major league team.
So they will make a major league trade.
Was rolling.
I was rolling.
I've been there before when you get one and you're like, you're back in college or high school, and I'm just going to repeat my sentence here. I'm going to make it as long as possible to get the word requirement, and we're good. Yeah.
Carey, you were set up for failure.
I know it.
The thing about the conventional wisdom of the wisdom convention is convention. Yeah. It's convention.
No. Yeah.
Webster describes convention at
From the 314, prove me wrong. Alec Burleson is a better option at first base for the Cardinals in 2025 than Paul Goldschmidt would be.
Well, you got a guy who has been a perennial MVP candidate in Paul Goldschmidt, and recently, just 2 seasons ago, was an MVP in the National League. He's a guy that the back of his baseball card tells me he's got a chance to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Big right bat cleanup. Like Alec Burleson, it's a nice thought, but he's put together just a fraction of the production, the amount of time that Paul Goldschmidt has done it. If you're going to put the guy at first base, look, can we talk Gold Gloves for a second? Never mind the bat. Let's talk about the glove. No glove, no love, right?
Ah.
Exactly. For Alec Burleson, he doesn't have that golden glove yet. Paul Goldschmidt does. He's got several of those gloves.
Yeah, he does.
Along to go with that big bat in the number 4, number 3, wherever you need him, even in the 2 hole sometimes, Anthony.
Yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt's my guy.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but what you said.
No glove.
No glove,
No
no
love.
love.
That's right.
I got to give you some love for that one,
Right?
Jamie.
Nice job, Jamie.
Good job.
Real nice job. All right, we've got the Gauntlet and a new Gauntlet contestant next on 101 ESPN.
When it comes to the golf world, it's been a little exciting here recently. Thank you, Louisville, for that. But FanDuel also making it very exciting, and you can get in on all of the craziness that is the tour right now and catch the major action this week at Pinehurst. Because right now, Carey, all customers, that's right, all customers get a profit boost every round of the U.S. Major.
Yeah, Jamie, that means you can boost your outright winners, your longest drive bets, and so much more. Plus, bet on the finishing position and get paid in full for ties. You won't see any other sportsbook doing that. Don't wait. Just go to FanDuel.com/fast to get started and take advantage of your profit boost every round at Pinehurst.
Yeah, so if you like Scotty Scheffler, or maybe you're a Rory McIlroy guy, or maybe you like, Bryson DeChambeau, whoever you want to bet, you can do so at FanDuel. And as CD just mentioned, you got to go to FanDuel.com/fast. That way you can get started, take advantage. They've got head-to-head player props. They've got, who obviously will finish first. They've got different specials going on. It's all available at FanDuel, and it is fantastic. But you must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. It is 4:03. Your time check brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We welcome in Tony. What's up, Tony?
How's it going?
Good. First time?
First time on the Gauntlet. I've been on Randy's show about a year ago.
Okay.
So.
A long time.
Well, welcome to the
Thank
Fast Lane. Welcome to the Gauntlet. Would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me?
I think we're going to go for Carey.
All right.
Carey Davis.
Good luck, Tony.
Thank
All
you.
right, so Carey's going to make his way into the cone of silence. Tony, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Yeah.
Tony, what are we hoping for?
Hoping for baseball.
Hoping for baseball. What are we not hoping for?
Probably random. Random or hockey. But
had random yesterday.
We have it today.
Oh, the
boy.
wheel.
The wheel
of
is
death.
evil.
It gets on one
It does.
from time to time. Thank you, Marsh.
It's like our phones. I feel like it's always listening.
Yeah.
And then when you say something, it goes, ooh, I got you.
Like that. All right, so, Tony, you're going to get 4 random questions. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
got it. Ready.
All right, question number 1. 2-time major winner Jon Hamm will miss this week's U.S. Open due to a left foot infection. From which country does this golfer hail?
Definitely going to need the options there.
Spain, Argentina, or Italy?
Jon Hamm. We'll go with Spain.
Final answer?
Yep.
All right, Tony, question 2. In Looney Tunes lore, what is the name of Porky Pig's girlfriend?
Options.
Is it Pollyanna Pig, Petunia Pig, or Poinsettia?
Let's go with Petunia Pig.
Final?
Final answer.
Question number 3. Can you tell us the biggest NASCAR oval track?
Jeez. This is brutal. Yeah, give me the options.
Options are Daytona International Speedway, Darlington Raceway, or Talladega Super Speedway.
Let's say Talladega. Total guess, but final answer.
Question number 4. Oh, this is interesting. Spell the word churro, which is, of course, a sweet snack consisting of fried dough dusted with sugar or cinnamon. Churro.
I wish I was in a Taco Bell parking lot right now.
Yeah, good look at the menu.
Let's say C-A, so I got to spell it.
You got to spell it.
C-H-U-R-R-O.
So you said C-H-U-R-R-O?
Yep, which I'm sure is wrong because I think that's the most obvious spelling. So,
okay,
is that your final spelling, Tony?
That's my final spelling. Yep.
All right, there you go. Here we bring back Carey Davis. How you feeling, Tony?
I guess on every one of those, but I'm going to guess that Carey is going to guess on them all too. So,
all right. We'll see how it goes here. Carey Davis strutting back in from the Cone of Silence. How you feeling, Carey?
Headphones broke last segment, so.
Oh, yeah, those headphones
What do
don't
you
look,
got there
they
now?
look weird.
Those look like the free ones they give you at the library.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
It might be.
I don't know who they belong to, so Jamie, that
They look great, though.
all right, thank you.
Kind of fits your head like perfectly.
Kind of feels
Like
weird.
molded.
Yeah, like molded on.
Feels a little weird.
Yeah. All right, Carey. The Wheel of Death spun random today.
Oh, come on.
Random. Jamie?
Oh, you better pack a lunch, buddy.
Question 1, CD. Two-time major winner Jon Hamm will miss this week's U.S. Open due to a left foot infection. From which country does this golfer hail from?
I feel like I should. Spain? Final answer?
All right. Question 2. In Looney Tunes lore, what is the name of Porky Pig's girlfriend?
Oh, man. I have no clue. Options, please.
Is it Pollyanna Pig, Petunia Pig, or Poinsettia Pig?
That helped me. Not at all. Pauletta? What'd you say?
Pollyanna, Petunia, or Poinsettia?
Petunia or Pollyanna? Let's go Pollyanna. Final answer. Shoot. I feel like it's Petunia. Yep, go ahead.
Question number 3. Can you tell us the biggest NASCAR oval track?
Yeah, because I love NASCAR. It's not going to help me at all. Yeah, I don't even know the names of them. Give me the options.
Options are Daytona International Speedway,
that one,
Darlington Raceway,
maybe that one,
or Talladega Super Speedway.
Ain't your first, your last, huh? Let's go Daytona.
Final answer?
Final answer. Sorry, Jamie.
It's all right, buddy.
I apologize.
Just here to keep it legit.
Thank you, sir.
Nice job, Jamie. Hold him accountable.
Thank you.
Question number 4. Spell the word churro, which is, of course, a sweet snack consisting of fried dough dusted with sugar or cinnamon.
Churro? Mm-hmm. I have to spell. This is a spelling bee as well?
That's correct.
All right. C-H-U-R-R. Churro. Oh, that doesn't feel right at all. C-H-U-R-R. Is it I-O or is it just O? It's not O-E. Oh, churro. Churrio. Churrio. C-H-U-R-R-O. Final answer.
All right.
I hate it.
Let's go over these. Tony versus Carey. Carey, if you feel any better, Tony felt the same way about this
Well,
gauntlet.
I think we're both in the same boat here.
Let's see how you guys did. Spell the word churro, which is, of course, a sweet snack consisting of fried dough dusted with sugar or cinnamon. Tony, you spelled it C-H-U-R-R-O. Carey, you spelled it C-H-U-R-R-O. Correct answer is?
Well, gentlemen, in fact, it is spelled C-H-U-R-R-O. You got it right.
Nice job, guys. Tony and CD. Believe it or not, we did get a question from Frick James in the Snake Pit. Are there even options for that? There, in fact, were options. Yeah, there were options. But Tony, Carey, you didn't need the options. Nice job. You both nailed the first ever Gauntlet spelling question. So, way to go.
Hopefully the last one.
We got a 2-2 tie. Two-time major winner Jon Hamm will miss this week's U.S. Open due to a left foot infection. From which country does this golfer hail? Tony, you said Spain. Carey, you said Spain. Correct answer is?
It is Spain.
But Carey did not use the options for that one.
Well done.
So Carey with a 4-3 lead over Tony.
Nice work, Carey.
Thank you, Tony.
Can you tell us the biggest NASCAR oval track? CD, you went with Daytona International Speedway. Tony, you went with Talladega Super Speedway. Correct answer is?
Well, if it's the biggest, the Super Speedway makes sense. Talladega.
Talladega. So Tony has tied it.
There you go. Nice.
Overtime.
4-4 tie. Comes down to this. In Looney Tunes lore, what is the name of Porky Pig's girlfriend? Carey, you went with Pollyanna Pig. You debated taking Petunia Pig. In fact, after you said final answer, you said, I think it's Petunia Pig. Tony, you went Petunia Pig. Really? It's not poinsettia pig.
What?
We're going to eliminate that option.
It's not bacon either.
No, it's not bacon. That'd be cruel.
Would be.
If it's Petunia pig, Tony wins by 1. If it's Pollyanna pig, Carey wins by 1. Tony?
You have chosen wisely.
It was Petunia pig, and Tony, after admittedly guessing on every single question, got every single question right.
Good job.
5 for a win. Nice job, Tony. And that was legit, too. We could tell when somebody is maybe Googling answers or whatever. We could tell in your frustration. You're like, I'll just take that. I'll take the first one. Nice job, Tony. You'll be back tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah,
Tony.
awesome.
Good job,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Congratulations to Tony. Again, Tony will be back tomorrow. We got Alex Pietrangelo. We went Blues Day. Continuing with Petro next on 101 ESPN.
back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers alongside Anthony Stalter and Super Bowl champion Carey Davis. Head out to the celebrity line now to be joined by former Blues captain, current Vegas Golden Knights assistant captain, and two-time Stanley Cup champion, Alex Pietrangelo. Petra, how you doing, bud?
I'm good, guys. How's everybody doing over there?
We're good. And I'm sure you're aware that today is the 5-year anniversary of the night that you guys so proudly hoisted the cup up over your head. And we're kind of going through it with a couple of guys. We talked to Ryan O'Reilly a little bit earlier, Colton Parayko. We even had old Hammer Time Jon Hamm on to talk about it as well. But that was a roller coaster year, to say the least. You know, what do you remember from where you guys were when things were kind of rocky, and then the turnaround, how things started to go in the right direction?
Oh, man, you're right. What a year. Such a great story when you sit back and you look at it. Momentum is a crazy thing, right, in sports. I mean, everybody knows that. Anybody who's been around it. I really do think that when Chiefs came in, it kind of gave us a bit of a momentum shift in the way he, goes about his business. Kind of kept people accountable, but at the same time, it was fun coming to work every day when Chiefs kind of came and brought that new life. So I just really felt like it kind of helped us turn the corner. Winning is way more fun than losing. Everybody knows that. So I think, whenever you get on that run and we won, 12 in a row or 11 in a row, whatever it was, after that, it was like, okay, now we have a spark. Now we know where we are. And obviously, Spinner coming in was a big part of that. That kind of helped us kickstart that whole process. But everything's got to go right. Everything's got to go right to go that far and kind of go on that run. And it just seemed to go right for us. And we were healthy, right? That was the important thing, especially in the second half of the year.
Petro, the offseason, Army brings back Perron, signs Bozak, makes that big trade for Ryan O'Reilly, brings in Pat Maroon. I mean, everything seems like it's headed in the right direction. It doesn't go that way initially. I mean, not even really towards maybe the halfway point of the season. How hard was that for you personally? You're the captain of the team, high expectations. You're trying your best to perform on a nightly basis, but the team is not where you want it to be. How hard was that?
Yeah, I think any leader really will take it upon themselves, right? I think almost you put too much pressure on yourself. You almost sometimes got to take a step back and trust, everybody. It's not all on you. It's a team thing, but it certainly starts with the leaders. Started with me as a captain. And sometimes you got to double down, right? Sometimes you think you're doing the right things, but you got to kind of trust yourself even more and double down on yourself and be like, I can do this. I'm capable of leading this team. And I always go back to, Chief came in and, him and I kind of saw things the same. We had a really good relationship. We understood what needed to change around there. And that certainly kind of helped me get through that, right? Having his voice and us thinking the same thing. And it's not easy to, free agents and all and trades or whatever it may be. It certainly takes some time to gel, right? And I think momentum one way or another, positive or negative, can go both ways. And I think once everybody kind of found the groove halfway through the season, whether it's O'Reilly or the Big Rig or whoever it was, and everybody kind of found the role, we took off. I mean, if you look at our roster and how it was built, we all got along so well off the ice that it drove us insane that on the ice we weren't clicking. So everybody kind of had to take a step back. What's your role? What can you bring to the team? Everyone accepted that, and off we went.
You all, I've been on teams that were struggling, and at times doubt starts to creep in. Were there any conversations, like real conversations amongst teammates where you said, hey, you need to play better, or I need to do this better? The conversations that are tough to hear but need to be had amongst each other?
Yeah, we were a pretty honest group with each other. I think a lot of that was personal accountability, but also when you're that close as a group, a lot of us kind of grew up together in an organization. I think you're willing to have those conversations, and the guy beside you, you respect them so much that you know what they're saying is coming from a good place. You know that what they're saying is just to kind of make you better. But there was a lot of times too. I still remember standing in the locker room one time, and we're looking at the standings, and we were, I don't know what we were, maybe 10 or a dozen points back of a playoff spot, but we had played like 6 or 7 less games than some teams ahead of us. And I still remember sitting there with a couple of the guys looking at those standings on that board and being like, if we just go on a roll here, we're right back in the mix. Like, this isn't that hard. We just got to win, maybe 5 or 6 in a row, and all of a sudden we're back in the conversation. Now, I don't think any of us planned, to win 11 or 12 in a row. We obviously wanted to, but that was kind of the thought process. As we felt like we were playing good, we just weren't finding a way to win hockey games.
Alex Pietrangelo joining us right now for We Went Blues Day on 101 ESPN. Petro, you had mentioned your relationship with Chief and him taking over. What was one of the things that he did that you guys felt behind the scenes that maybe we in the media or we as fans didn't recognize?
I think the communication relationship from a coach is a really important thing. And if anybody's been around Chief in a locker room setting, he's a really, really good communicator. And, we talk about accountability, but accountability isn't going out there and barking at a guy and saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. It's talking to the individual specifically on what they can do better, to help the team. And it's not always, going to be negative. I feel like Chief had a really good pulse going to each guy and like I said, kind of giving everybody a role and making everybody feel like the role that they were in was that important to them. And, a lot of us have to make sacrifices. I look at Alexander Steen, who, he's been there a long time. He's playing on, I wouldn't even call it our fourth line because they played so well, but with Sonny and those guys, in that line, like, Steen had to accept a different role. And that's such a huge thing when a veteran player is willing to do that and do that role at such a high level. So Chief kind of made sure that we all understood what our role was and that we were doing that role to the best of our ability.
Talking with former Blues defenseman Alex Pietrangelo, two-time Stanley Cup champion. Petro, I don't think I've ever asked you this question. I'm going to ask you right now. How did it feel for you to be able to be the first guy in franchise history to hold that cup up over your head, knowing the history of the franchise, the city, the fans, and all that? What was that moment like for you?
Well, special, obviously, right? Drafted there, grew up in that organization. A lot of good people, a lot of really, really, really good hockey players before me had an opportunity to do it and couldn't quite get it done, right? So it's a pretty special thing, but none of us get to that spot unless all the people before us built everything up, right? The organization came so close so many, previous years. I had played on a lot of good teams leading up to that, and we just never really got over that hump. And that whole history of the organization, to be the first one, like I said, with all the special people, it's a pretty cool feeling. And obviously, my wife being from there and all our family there, that's something special. I get goosebumps when I watch that stuff, so.
Alex, we had a couple of other guys on earlier. I asked them about the parade, and I asked them about the moments leading up to the final buzzer. I want to ask you, who was the first person you looked for when that buzzer went off? Be it a teammate, a coach, a family member. Who was the person you wanted to see first when you became a Stanley Cup champion?
It's my wife for sure. If anybody's married with kids that is a professional athlete, I don't think you're able to do what you do without a good supporting wife and a good base at home. So she came down. I don't think I'm even able to do any of this without her. That was a special thing to share with her. Obviously being a St. Louis girl too. And then it was my parents, right? None of us get to this point without our parents. Being a father myself now, I get all the sacrifices and all the stuff that you have to do to help them get the sports and the strange hours and all that and all the dedication it takes. So those are the people that none of us get to where we are without them.
No, that's for sure. Just a couple more things for you, Petro, and we'll let you go. You leave the organization, you head off to Vegas, new adventure for your family, for you, new club, all that. You end up winning the cup a second time. What was it like to win it the second time? How different was it for you winning it the second time as opposed to the first time?
Certainly special. Special in a different way. The one thing that was really cool for me, having won it a second time, was I still remember we were up at our owner's ranch in Montana with the cup, and I remember sitting back and looking at everybody who was winning it for the first time and just seeing the joy on their face and how special it was for them. Certainly special the second time around, but I remember that feeling the first time of how amazing it was and all the years and sacrifice that we get. We have to do to get to that point, and just seeing the joy in everybody's face for me was so special. That's the beauty of being on a team, right? Being in a sport that is teammates that you go through the grind with. all year. It's a special, special thing to look at and be a part of. And then my kids are a little bit older, right? So now they understand. They understand who we play at every single series. Now they understand who's on the roster. They know all the guys in the team. Like, that's a cool thing to share. And now I've had the opportunity of all 4 of my kids be able to sit in the Stanley Cup. Julia wasn't born on the first one, so she got to do the same thing. Pretty special.
Well, buddy, I am so happy for you and all your success. You're a hell of a guy. You're a great hockey player. Wishing you nothing but the best, and your family as well, your wife and your beautiful children. I hope you guys have an amazing off season, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Sounds good. We'll cross paths in St. Louis, I'm sure, in a month or so.
You got it, buddy. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Take care, guys. See ya.
Take care. Thank you. That's Alex Pietrangelo here in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. One of my favorite moments from just Petro's time here it actually didn't happen on game ice. It happened on practice ice. I watched as guys like Vince Dunn and some of the other younger defensemen followed Petro around like he was the mama duck. You know, you get the ducklings that followed their mom or dad. That's how it was around the ice at practice. And that right there, I already knew about the impact of Alex Pietrangelo, but you're like, yeah, this dude's a stud. He's a leader. Guys go to him. The younger players look up to him. What he says, how he practices. Other younger Blues defensemen, they just fall in line, whatever this guy says. You don't earn that without being a really, really good player, great player. And you don't earn that by making somebody do that. Leadership, that's true leadership. So that was one of my favorite moments. And, of course, him hoisting the cup is great. But
yeah,
just the impact, like, I'm like, wow, that's legit.
What people don't realize, I don't know if they do now, maybe they do now, the impact that Alex Pietrangelo had on this franchise. From the moment he was drafted here, super serious guy, like lots of fun to be around, don't get me wrong, but like took his profession very seriously, wanted to be one of the best defensemen in the NHL. And then during his stint as the captain, like the maturation that had gone on there to where everybody has a certain vision of what he was like. He was every bit as prickly as Chris Pronger was as a captain. Just did it differently. He demanded it in a different way. And you knew yourself, like if you're a guy that came off the ice and you didn't have a great practice or a bad game and it didn't look like you were doing things the right way, like you found out about it quickly. Mm-hmm. And Alex Steen was right there with him and all the other guys, especially that year, Ryan O'Reilly and that. But like the leadership group was so strong that it really pulled those guys through. And you hear now today, we're talking to Ryan O'Reilly about Pat Maroon and just the different characters that they had. And that what's funny is they always had this belief, even when they were, quote unquote, playing terrible hockey, they had this belief that they could be much better than they were. And that, again, falls back to leadership. We heard Craig Berube's name all day long. We've heard, Alex Pietrangelo, Ryan O'Reilly. We've heard the impact of Jordan Binnington. So all of these pieces coming together for that one moment in time is what gave us that Stanley Cup.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. We're going to do part of our Sports Six-Pack next. 314-399-9646. If you have a question, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line, and we'll answer it in part one of the Sports Six-Pack here on 101 ESPN.
For over 80 years, the Londoff family has been making transportation's dreams come true. Whether you visit the dealership in person or you check them out online at londoff.com, at the Johnny Londoff Chevrolet team, they treat you like family. They want you to, they want you to really love the vehicle that you purchase, whether it's brand new or pre-owned. They want you to enjoy the experience. And I can speak from my own experience of being a customer for over 25 years, how much I enjoy it. But now my son is a very first-time brand new car owner thanks to Johnny Londoff and the Londoff Chevrolet team. And they walked him through the entire process, and it was awesome seeing just how great they were with my family, and I know how great they'll be with yours. So please get out to either location, whether it's the original location in Florissant, Missouri, or the brand new Londoff Autoplex located out in St. Peters, right off of Highway 70. Both locations have great brand new inventory as well as pre-owned, and I can promise you fantastic customer service as well. And if you can't get out there to check out the cars in person, you can always look at all the inventory online. Visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals lose to the Pittsburgh Pirates last night by a final score of 2-1. Sonny Gray will take the mound tonight going up against Bailey Falter. First pitch is at 6:45. Today we are celebrating We Went Blues Day. We've had on Ryan O'Reilly, Colton Parayko, Jon Hamm, and Alex Pietrangelo. If you missed any of those interviews, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. All of our interviews throughout the entire day will be featured on the homepage, but you can also go to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six-Pack on 101 ESPN.
Question number 1.
All right, we just had Alex Pietrangelo on the show from the 636. Do you think that Petro will make it into the Hockey Hall of Fame? What other players from the 2019 team have at least a shot to make it in?
I think, personally, Petro's the only guy that has a shot of getting in there. You could argue that if Robert Thomas continues to ascend in the NHL, especially as an all-around player, maybe. But you just look at the accolades for Alex Pietrangelo. You know, he's won at the international level. He's won at the NHL level. He's won twice, 2 Stanley Cups. It still is going to be it's going to be tough for him because I don't think some of the numbers are there offensively. He's a very well-rounded defenseman. Quite honestly, probably one of the top 5 as far as all-around defensemen in the NHL. But when you look at some of the numbers from guys offensively that have gotten in there recently, I don't know if Petro has the numbers, but he certainly has the pedigree. So I think, Alex Pietrangelo would probably be, if I had to bet only one guy from that team to make the Hall of Fame, it would be Alex Pietrangelo.
Question number 2.
From the 314, what's your take on fans cheering for opposing players? I thought it was a classy move for St. Louis fans to cheer and tip their cap to Paul Skeens after last night's performance. But apparently, some people on other ESPN morning programs, unsportsmanlike, think it's quote-unquote embarrassing.
Carey, your thoughts?
I normally don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it at all. I think our fans are extremely knowledgeable. They understand what's going on. I just kind of feel like your pitcher was having a no-hit moment like you should have probably. I don't know. I don't know. It kind of felt dirty a little bit. Like, I understand why you do it, but I don't think you do it in that. Your team's not good, man. And you don't want to be tipping your kid. Like, the Valleys went to commercial with the guy literally tipping his cap. Like, he was the view of him. You can see the back of him. Cool moment for him, truly. But it just felt like too damn much. Stop it. I almost cursed. Stop that bleep.
Yeah.
Just damn win. Al Davis told you. Just win. And then you can tip your cap as much as he's walking off, having given up 5 runs. Tip your cap to him then. Good performance, sir. Get the hell out of here. You kicked your butt.
John from the Snake Pit says, that just shows how good St. Louis fans are.
Does it? Too good, actually. They deserve better. You're right, John.
You're really poking the bear.
You're right.
They deserve better?
The fans deserve better. Better performance.
Oh.
They deserve better. See, they're so good, they tip their caps to opposing teams and opposing pitchers. We give standing ovations for former players that may have played a lot or may not have. They're here. You wore the birds on the bat. Hey, you're
going to get an O.
We're going to stand up for you. Who the? I just want to win, man. I don't give a damn about nothing else. I don't care. Whether you tip your cap to Paul Skeens, he's throwing gas, and you're excited to see him, your team ain't scored, man. Let's cheer for that. Let's cheer for some damn runs. How about that? Let's cheer for your team winning. So I guess I didn't like it that much now that I think about it.
So, guys, a friend of mine was talking to me earlier today, and a friend of mine said that he feels like sometimes the Cardinals fans do it for themselves. I know. It's weird.
That's a disgusting friend.
Yeah, he is a little bit, trust me. More ways than one. But do you get that feeling at all? Like I'm watching all the different ESPN, Pat McAfee and everything, and you got the St. Louis best fans in baseball. Like, do you think sometimes the fans do it for themselves to feel good as the best fans in baseball, or do they think they really...
No, Jamie, it's about culture. And here's the thing. When it comes to the culture of St. Louis, this is, I kind of overheard some of this conversation with your friend. It's about St. Louis culture. And the culture is that you appreciate good baseball moments. And that was a good baseball moment last night. So that's why the fans stood up and they started to clap for the opposing player. For the opposing player that dominated your face. They said, all right, we like this. So it's just living up to the hype. You know?
Why? Because you've been labeled the BFIB, you got to stand and applaud Skeens that just threw gas and struck 80 of your guys, and you ain't scored
That's what the BFIB does.
Why?
30,000 people before they stood up and applaud this guy. I said 30,000.
You were probably right, actually.
I highly doubt that right before they stood up to clap was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for myself. Because we're the best fans. No, they just stood up because that guy, he's one of the best pitchers, and he's a very highly touted pitcher in the game of baseball. Like, you show respect to the guy. I don't see anything wrong with that. You're showing respect to the guy. You also did the same thing for Miles Mikolas.
Well,
how about you cheer for your team scoring runs? How about you cheer louder and maybe they'll hit the ball over the fence? How about you cheer louder and then they'll do that thing I talk about where their foot touches the plate a few times in a game that allows you to score. I don't know if you guys know this or not. It's news to me. I just learned it recently. If you don't score, you can't win. And unlike City, you can't draw either. That's a ricochet shot at them. The hell did they do? They didn't win.
Let them cook.
Nah, just if you don't come around third and hit your foot on the plate, it ain't a run, and he ain't gonna win. There is no way possible to win a damn game if your foot doesn't do that on the home plate. Or your hand, or a leg, or whatever body part you want to use, your face. I don't give a damn. Just get there, man. And stop applauding people that are kicking your team's ass. Hey, they're kicking your teams. They're kicking your team. Good job. We're proud of you. What the hell is that? You gonna watch your family get punched in the face and applaud the guy for punching your family member in the face?
Depends who it is.
Not me, Carey. Not me.
You know that one.
You like the teammate. You like the family member. You don't hate him. You're going to applaud it?
I think it's a very smart move because when he's 36 years old, he'll remember that. He'll sign with this team for one year.
He'll feel good about it. Marsh, you're
He'll want
right.
to be here when he's 36.
Yep.
I think it's a smart move.
You know, I think Marsh is right.
He's on to something?
He's on to something. Yeah. All right, that's the first bag of the Sports Six Pack. We'll get to the next part here on 101 ESPN.
If you are looking for new windows, maybe it's a renovation, maybe it's just because your windows are old and you're tired of the inefficiency of your old windows, head over to Window World. They are the best in the business. Of course, they are the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. And Window World windows are one of two. That's right, one of two windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Why is that? Because they give you an awesome window. They do. It's a double-strength glass that you don't commonly find in other replacement windows. And all that means is it limits the breakage, it limits the leaking, and the inefficiency of maybe the hot weather getting into your home or the cold weather in the wintertime. No. Window World windows are built to last, and they save you money. They also give you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, and the labor involved. And right now, they are offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. And there's only one thing you have to do. Pick up the phone, call over there, tell them Jamie Rivers from 101 sent you in. Their number's 314-993-1800. Again, that's 314-993-1800. Or you can visit windowworldstlouis.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Continuing with our Sports Six-Pack, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter, here's Andrew Marsh. Go!
Question number 3.
All right, from the 314, Jamie, it looks like the Florida Panthers are having some travel issues. Do you believe that this will affect them in game number 3?
Oh, boy, yeah, they've got some serious issues. It wasn't until just a little while ago they actually left South Florida, and that is a massive flight. I think it's like 6 hours in the air to get from where they're at to the Edmonton airport. Now, Edmonton left right away following the game, so they've been back home for a couple days now. The NHL did provide a little bit of a bigger break here so that both teams could be prepared accordingly. So I had said before, my initial prediction was 5 games. Then I went with 3. Obviously, you can't win in 3 games. But I'm going to go back to my original prediction of 5 games. I think the Oilers will have a huge push in their very first game back home. I think that's going to be the case. And whether it's the travel or not, or just the craziness or the disruption of all of it, I think the Panthers might fall in that game. But then they win game 2 or the second game in Edmonton and close it out in South Florida. It's been my prediction from the beginning. I just didn't know which game they'd hand over to the Oilers. I feel like this one lines up to where they hand it back to the Oil. If they don't, if they win that game, then it might be in 4.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, everything sets up perfectly for the Oilers in game 3. You're back at home. You got a little momentum with the home crowd and all that. Flight delay. You're right. This is it. 3-0 and you lost this week, coughed up this one. You're done.
What day would they have wanted to leave? Tuesday? I mean, they played Monday night, so you want to rest at home and leave Tuesday
What's
afternoon?
weird is they left on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you leave? Give yourself a day.
Well, actually, here I do, because I lived it. So when I was with the Red Wings, we played the Calgary Flames in the playoffs, second round of the playoffs. And a couple things. One, we had so many superstars on the Red Wings team that when you go to Canada, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Like paparazzi city, people are trying to get to the players, let alone playoff time against a Canadian team. So the Canadian media they travel back with Edmonton because they got to stay on the beat with their guys.
Right.
If your team's there too, now you got 40, 50 reporters there in your face every day. You got the people of Edmonton trying to mess with you.
Right.
And where you stay in Edmonton, it's attached to the rink. Like, it's quite a little walk, but it is attached to the rink. When I played against Calgary, 2 of the 3 games that we played in Calgary, the fire alarm got pulled at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Happens.
Yep. And so, these are things I could see Paul Maurice saying, you know what, let's just take that out of the equation. We'll have a nice early practice on Wednesday, get to the rink, get a little stretch, a little skate, get on the plane. Get out. You're going back a couple of time zones.
Yeah.
So we'll be in Edmonton, 4:30, 5 o'clock, perfect for dinner. All that stuff we settled in, just like a normal road game.
Right.
But then apparently there's storms or something down in Florida. It held them back, and now they're going to arrive late tonight in Edmonton, and then they play earlier tomorrow. I think it's a 6:20 puck drop. So we'll see.
Good luck, sir.
So you want to win the cup, huh?
Question number 4.
All right. I know I'll get a snarky answer, but let's get the snarky one out first.
Come on.
Then we'll get to what I believe could be a real answer. This one comes from the Frito man.
Now, Marsh, are you saying that or the texter saying that?
No, I'm saying this.
You're saying that you're going to get a snarky response.
1,000,000%.
From this show.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to give you the snarky response?
All of you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Are you ready?
Kind of hurts my feelings, but yeah.
The Frito man asks, what Cardinal players should be made available to upgrade this version of the Cardinals?
All of them.
There it is.
Every single player?
Every guy with a jersey.
Anybody on the roster.
Yeah.
AAA included. AA, single A. If you play in the Cardinals organization, you could possibly not be here sooner.
I mean,
later.
Nobody is untradeable on this roster.
I don't disagree.
You're not. If you can get better, if people might say, well, Mason Wynn, he's a good. Okay, fine, but I'll trade Mason Wynn for a better player. Now, is it an older player that makes me better now and crappy in 2 years? No, I'm not going to make that deal. But if there's a young, cost-controlled superstar out there, Ronald Acuna Jr., when he's healthy, if you have the option to do that, and by trading Mason Wynn, you make that trade.
I don't disagree with that.
That's all I mean by anybody's available.
But Mason Wynn
listen to everybody.
Mason Wynn might be the only one where you're hesitant.
You seen the errors, Carey?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm just being a chick. Been working at it. At me like that.
Been working at it. No,
he's great.
Wynn, Gorman,
Wynn,
Tink Hens.
Okay,
long pause.
I don't know that Gorman is on that list.
But what's your return? What if somebody offers you something really good for Tink Hens?
I'm not trading Tink Hens.
But what certainty did you have that?
I'll trade Jordan Walker.
Let's go back. Let's go back.
If Jordan Walker can fetch me a top end starter, like if the White Sox called me and said, "Hey, Jordan Walker, we're going to give you Garrett Crochet," I'm thinking about it.
Okay, so let's go back to a couple years ago when Dylan Carlson was being sought after, and John Mozeliak said, "Cold dead hands before you get him from me." It's because he believed that he was going to be an elite player.
Right.
So Tink Hence, same thing. All things being considered equal right now. Tink Hence, we believe he can be that top end of the rotation pitcher. So you hang on to him at all costs, right? But then what if? What if he needs a surgery? What if, and all of a sudden now, you've passed up on a chance to get something else for your team. And I'm not talking a dumb trade. Like if you're trading Tink Hence, it's because you're getting someone cost controlled that's a stud right now. And that's the only way you're doing it.
So I agree with that premise, which is why I said Jordan Walker.
Jordan Walker went 3 for 5 last night.
Yeah, Bombzilla, too.
Now's the time, then. Now's the time.
Phones are on.
I agree with the premise of it, which is why I threw out Walker for the same idea. The reason why I'd hang on to Hence is because I want top end pitching. So if Hence turns out to be an ace and Walker turns out to be a serviceable starter, the value is way different. So
I get it.
I want to build. If I'm the Cardinals, and I'll give you the rebuttal. So text line, hold off on it because text line, I'll just say the rebuttal. I want to build the nastiest starting pitching staff in Major League Baseball. If I'm Mo, if I'm running the Cardinals, I want to build the absolute nastiest starting staff. Now, bullpen too, but bullpen's a little bit more volatile, right? Like ups and downs with the bullpen. I want to build the best rotation in baseball. What about offense? There's your rebuttal, right? What about offense? How's your offense look now? You love damn near everybody in this lineup. How you doing? I want pitching, front end pitching.
All right.
And I want it now.
Just a guy at shortstop.
Speaking of Dylan Carlson, should they trade him? For what? I don't know. If they're not going to use him, though, in all seriousness, if they're not going to use him, what's stopping them from sending him down to Memphis? That's next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We have some Battlehawks tickets to give away. Actually, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Fraudulent slip.
Darn it. Anthony.
We have UFL championship tickets to give away. I'm sorry. I thought it was a done. I thought it was a done deal.
It was.
You know,
it's not.
Should be them.
It should be.
It's not though. It's the Brahmas. So if you enjoyed watching the Brahmas last week, you can go again for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. You get to go see the Brahmas. All right, so we'll give you that in a second here. But I had this thought as Jamie was texting our text thread last night. Absolutely hair on fire for Jamie. Talking about how
it's every day.
Yeah, pretty much. But Jim, you were talking about hey, why not bring in Brandon Crawford in the moment where they brought in where they kept Siani in the game. Why not bring in Brandon Crawford? They didn't. The bench the bench is weak as it is, very thin. You don't have Wilson Contreras, he's out. You don't have Lars Nootbaar, he's out. You don't have Tommy Edman, he's out. So your bench right now has been decimated. This is why Mo was talking about going out and maybe acquiring somebody at some point, right-handed bat, all that. Well, it got me thinking about Dylan Carlson. Clearly, they like Siani in center field. Clearly, they do not like Dylan Carlson in center field. They also don't want him up there left-handed. All of this is, I mean, they have stated this without stating it. Why keep him up? Why not send him to Memphis, Gary, and allow him to work either solely right-handed to develop into a better hitter, or work on the switch hitting aspect of it, maybe work on his center field play if they eventually envision him there. What is Dylan Carlson doing at this level when you're not going to use him? How is he going to get better?
I was hoping... He had a really good game against the Rockies where he had a couple of hits left-handed, drove in a couple of runs left-handed, and I would hope that could be the catalyst for him to, start trending in the right direction. Then he dropped the ball in center field, which that wasn't great either. I don't know what the plan is for Dylan Carlson right now. I don't know what the Cardinals think of him. Obviously, they trust Siani more in the field and at the plate because he's as crazy as he's more consistent. Siani is batting 200. Dylan Carlson is still under 200 if I'm not mistaken.
Wouldn't this be a perfect spot to have Dylan Carlson be your everyday center fielder and bat ninth?
Probably. But then do you say Michael Siani has earned that right? Dylan Carlson has been injured. Michael Siani has not had an injury as far as I know. He's played every single day that he's been allowed to play.
Sure.
Hasn't missed any time. He has. He hadn't missed any time.
No, there was a text.
Okay. Yeah. Hasn't missed any time due to an injury, where Dylan Carlson has. And he doesn't hit well versus righties. So, I mean, at what point do you just say we're riding with this guy? I don't know I have no clue what the Cardinals are thinking in terms of Dylan Carlson, except for maybe he's an insurance policy if Siani does run into some struggles and he's worse than Dylan Carlson is right now.
Yeah, I have no idea what their plan is, and I don't think the Cardinals do, quite honestly. I don't think anybody envisioned it being as bad as it is, certainly not a couple of seasons ago when you had him as one of your top prospects coming up. I mean, everybody was waiting to see Dylan Carlson play, and it just has never really taken off for him. He had a pretty good year. I think he was third in Rookie of the Year. His very first full season, I think. And
he was even in the COVID year. He was batting cleanup for you against the Dodgers in that wild card game.
You're right. So, I mean, he's had some moments, but like last season and this season, health is an issue. But guys, last night told me everything I needed to know about the Cardinals and Dylan Carlson. Mm-hmm. You have a big moment for your club. You're two people on, first and second, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. And you go with Michael Siani, who's hitting 200.
Correct.
And I understand that Dylan Carlson might be hitting worse.
175.
Okay, that's fine. But you chose Siani over Carlson there. Okay, great. Brandon Crawford, he hasn't, I mean, we're talking small sample size, but in the last couple of games, Crawford has made really good contact with the ball. And he's a veteran guy, left-handed bat, and you could have easily put him in there the moment, again, not too big for Brandon Crawford.
Right.
And then flip that next inning, Dylan Carlson goes into center field. If you get to a next inning, Crawford may have hit a double. He may have hit a single. And you tie the game up, and then, like, who knows, comes up next. The top of your order now comes up from there, and now you got Mason Wynn up next. Maybe you never get to the next inning.
Mm-hmm.
So that told me a little bit about how thin and the Cardinals are from the bench position, but also how they don't have trust in anybody. When you're willing to let a 200 batter get up there and take swings at it with the game on the line, you got nothing else, or you don't trust anybody else.
Right.
That, to me, is the biggest problem. Is that right there in that moment. And for Dylan Carlson, sitting there on the bench, how does he feel? I know some people, I don't care how he feels. That's fine. But when a guy feels that way, it's difficult to perform, too. When you feel like you're no longer needed or wanted or you just can't contribute, then you become literally nothing for that team. Even yourself, you feel like crap. But then what do? Trade him for what?
Right. His value's never been lower. That's why I suggested sending him down.
I don't hate the idea. Try and get him going a little bit.
Well, and maybe in Memphis, you say, hey, when you come back, because you will be back. So it winds up being an Alec Burleson thing. In the offseason, this is what we need you to work on specifically. And Burleson showed up, and to his credit, he had improved significantly in the areas that the Cardinals asked him to improve in. You cannot be a one-trick pony, is what the Cardinals told Alec Burleson, correct? Essentially. Okay. So you bring Dylan Carlson in the office and say, you cannot be a one-trick pony for us. Send him to Memphis with very specific things to work on. You call Memphis up, the coaching staff down there, say, this is what we want Dylan Carlson to work on. We will call him back up at some point. But you're right, he's got no trade value. Even teams that might really wanted him the year that he was drafted, they ain't going to give you anything for him.
No, not now.
They haven't done anything. So to me, define role, bring somebody else in. Who cares at this point? You're not using Carlson as it is.
Well, somebody here on the text line from the 314, and we heard this from John Mozeliak, the man himself, but we haven't said it yet again today. But by saying that you're looking for a right-handed bat to play center field. Openly.
Exactly.
What
He's
are you
basically telling him,
yes,
you ain't it, boss.
That's
right.
it. Exactly.
They do not want him to play center field. They don't.
Or maybe they're telling him, if you bat right-handed, you can play center field. Just do that. I don't know.
Right. But I think at this point, like if they went to him and said, hey, listen, kid, we're only going to play you batting right-handed. I think Dylan Carlson might take that.
I would hope so.
He's batting 182 versus lefty. So right-handed, he's batting 182 versus batting left-handed, he's batting 167. So it's not like it's much greater one versus the other. He's struggling at the plate. And again, his 3 RBIs came as a lefty against the Rockies. So
I don't even know.
That to me is I don't know where he is. It's interesting. I was listening to BK and Ferrario coming in earlier, and they were talking about the mindset of an athlete and how much. And we heard Ryan O'Reilly talking about it earlier. All of the things you have to do outside of your sport, family, Game 6. I got to get tickets. There's so many damn people coming in. Like, there are so many factors to being a professional athlete that once you get in your head and you are unable to have success, confidence is a mother fast lane. I'm telling you, it will either make you or break you. It will help you be the best version of yourself or the worst version of yourself. And I think right now, Dylan Carlson is struggling with his confidence on either side of the plate. And what does that do? Now you take a guy that is really good in center field where you're like, oh, he's not judging balls correctly, and we're worried about that. It's all of those things. So, Anthony, sending him down might be the thing that allows him to reset. Go have fun again, because this ain't fun.
No.
It is not fun getting up to the plate or sitting an entire 9 innings on a bench and not watching. And when you do get up to the plate, you're out of sorts. So something needs to be done where he can reset himself, because he's not having success right-handed or left-handed right now.
I feel like last night would have been a good night to have one of those small wins coming off the bench.
Absolutely. You're right, Marsh. We had a great mic drop yesterday from Jake, who kind of broke that down about you add certain things to the roster, and they wind up being they pay big dividends. And that's a good, Marsh, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that back up. All right, we have your chance right now to score a pair of tickets to the United Football Championship game this Sunday at the Dome. I'm just going to say the Dome at America Center.
It's still the Battle Dome.
It's not this Sunday.
Okay.
It's history in the making as the Birmingham Stallions and the San Antonio Brahmas face off. Tickets now on sale. Or you can win free tickets right now, 314-399-9646. There was a person within the last 4 hours of this show, 3 hours, who swore on air. Who cursed on air? We had to dump them. Mm-hmm. Text us, 314-399-9646 with that name. And you might be saying, well, how would we know? We talked about it. So if you're listening, you can text in right now. If you're the 101st texter, at 314-399-9646, you're going to go see the Stallions and the Brahmas, the UFL Championship.
Or you can just listen to the entire show.
You can do that too. Absolutely.
That's what I usually, tell people to do.
Yeah.
2 to 6, Monday through Friday.
It's smart, Carey.
Don't turn it off. Listen to us all day. You gain valuable information, and then you know the answer to the trivia questions. It's simple. It's the best way to go about it.
Carey's right. It's
good play.
As always. Get all the ticket info. Find a bonus chance to register to win tickets for the Sunday UFL Championship game at 101ESPN.com. Where were you when the Blues won the Stanley Cup? We'll tell you where we were next on 101 ESPN.
Well, we've been talking about We Went Blues Day all day long here on 101 ESPN, and there's no bigger Blues fan than Tracy Bibb from the Bibb Agency. I know that she was thrilled when the Blues won the Stanley Cup, and she's going to be just as happy to help you with your car or your home insurance. And give her a call, because that's one thing that Tracy Bibb does is we talk about family. The Bibb Agency treats you like family. My children are all insured as drivers with the Bibb Agency, and there have been problems, and my children have been able to pick up the phone, call Tracy Bibb, have her walk them through certain situations, send them their insurance card over the phone, all that stuff, making it stress-free for my kids. And I want the same kind of treatment for you, not from a 1-800 number, but from Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. All you have to do is pick up the phone and get a free non-committal quote. And to call the number at 314-328-4260. Again, that number is 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We do need a new Beat the Street contestant, so if you want to text in now to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646, just text in BTS or Beat the Streak or however you want to do it. You have an opportunity to play. Our boy Dougie did not get a hit last night.
Sorry, Doug.
Sorry, Doug. But he did kind of break the streak for the listeners of not getting a hit. So nice job, Doug. We have been doing We Went Blues Day. Been a fun day. Ryan O'Reilly joined us. Colton Parayko joined us. Alex Pietrangelo joined us. And the one and only Jon Hamm from St. Louis. Hey, Jon Hamm joined us as well. You can check out all of those interviews at 101ESPN.com. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. All right, gentlemen. Where were you when the Blues won the Stanley Cup? What were you doing? What were you thinking? And were you ham-sauced?
So I had to go back and look. I went to, I don't.
What do you mean you had to go back and look?
Anthony, I don't remember what I was doing prior to the segment that we're about to do. Like, you have to, Jamie and I know, he knows. I have to ask, what are we doing?
He does.
Every, probably, how many segments do we have a day? 16? Is that
right? 16.
Probably
4
12.
times 4.
12 of them. That was good math by me. How we went to.
Nice job.
That's 8.
That's 4 plus 4.
Same thing.
So I went back to my calendar. I was having dinner with my stepmother. So my father passed away earlier that year in March, and in June we were having dinner. And I do remember my dad loved the Blues, and so he loved the Cardinals. He loved the Blues. So me and her were having dinner, and I'm sure we were watching the game. I know we were watching the game and enjoying that moment. So that's what I was doing. I was with my stepmother on on today's date.
Yeah.
2019.
Excellent.
Yes.
Marsh, the hell were you doing?
I was at the Enterprise Center for the watch party.
Oh, nice.
I was a few drinks deep.
Were you?
Yeah, I was very nervous.
Couple of Diet Cokes
yeah,
for you?
Sure. Diet Cokes.
Yeah.
You.
But yeah, I remember being super nervous when that first period started, and then as the game progressed, I got even more nervous, Anthony, because it seemed like the Blues just couldn't get the puck out of their own zone, and Jordan Bennington
was clear at camp.
They needed to clear at camp, but that hadn't existed yet, and it still doesn't. But we're working,
Jamie.
We're working to get ice time.
Yeah.
But I just remember that first goal going in and be like, oh, man, thank goodness we have a lead. And then they scored again, 2-0. I'm like, man, this is great. And then the game was just so long. And so I had more Diet Cokes. And that second period was, I don't even remember the second period. I just remember the first 10 minutes of the first period and then the last 10 minutes of the third period.
Right.
That's it. And then after the game was over, went downtown and everyone's hooting and hollering in the streets, and then proceeded to go to some of the establishments in downtown St. Louis to continue celebrating.
That's awesome.
So I did not have any beverages in me at all.
What?
0. I was working.
That's why you made up for it at the parade.
Did I ever? I made up for it that night, too. I will never forget it. We were down at the Fox Sports Midwest at the time, TV studios at Ballpark Village. That place was crawling with people. I mean, the fire code was optional that night. People were hanging from the rafters. And I remember Scott Warman and I were working that night, and Kim Eberly was down there. And we stepped outside of the studio into general population.
Gen Pop, they call it.
For the last minute or so of the game.
Yeah.
And it was unreal. Watching people, breaking down, crying, and, partying. And then they win, and then Gloria is just being pumped up through the whole place to where your head is ringing, and Scott Warman turns and gives me a hug. It's like it was wild, and then we had to go on the air, and it was something, man. We went on the air, and then we left there, went to Obi Clark's, had a few beverages there. Then Alex Steen had sent me a text message, said get down to Enterprise Center. We went down to Enterprise Center and got to be with the guys, the cup, and party all through the night, all the way right back over to Obi Clark's for the next day, and just kept it floored.
Going.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So I watched it. I watched Game 7 at home, but I'll tell what I think is the cool part of the story. So, Kristen, my wife's grandmother, was 102.
Wow.
101, 102. Diehard Blues fan. Watched every game. Like every time I saw her, she was asking me about the Blues or talking about a game that, like, she watched every game. So this woman, I mean, very, like, you know, right up to the day she died, lucid, could talk, like, never a situation where, you know, you couldn't understand or anything like that. Like, at 102 years old, you can't understand us at our age.
Right.
But the year prior, Kristen called me and she says, hey, my grandmother's not doing well. Come down to the hospital. So I went to the hospital down the road. Totally said my goodbyes to this woman. You know, we're crying and everything. And I told her, I said, hey, I'll you know, keep an eye on those Blues for you, right? She rallied, got out of the hospital, and wound up seeing the Blues win the Stanley Cup.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's unreal.
At 102, I think. 102, and then, you know, passed away like that next year. But
that's
unbelievable.
Awesome.
So when I think of, like, the Blues, like, I enjoyed the run. I also think about you and I, Jamie, during that whole time, because that was also a tough time. Dunk had stepped away from the turn. I have new co-host every single day. And then in stumbles in Jamie Rivers.
Literally, probably.
Stumbled in. Hammered. No, he's a pro. And the first segment, we argued about something. Like going in, I'm like, jeez, I gotta talk hockey and freaking hockey player. What's this guy gonna know? And we argued about something that first time. We went to break. I go, that was awesome. Big five. And I'm like, dude, don't go anywhere. Like, just come back
keep
tomorrow.
Coming, he said.
I go, just keep coming back. I'll handle it. So Jamie did. So we were spending a lot of time. So then the Blues caught fire.
Yeah.
And then you and I were doing the turn every single day, and eventually wound up being, you know, Stalter and Rivers there for a little bit. But so I think of her and I think of you and how much it meant to you.
Yeah.
Like, obviously it was awesome. The whole just talking about watching the games, it was a lot of fun. But for me, watching what it meant to the people that have been here in St. Louis, or for you, grew up in the organization, dude, that's incredible. I have goosebumps thinking about it.
It was fun, and I do remember that the very first segment, Carey. I said something ridiculous, probably.
It was Cardinals.
It was Cardinals baseball, and I like fired back at him, and he was like, I remember his face was like, I was like, I either did something really good or something really bad. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
And then he come back. He's like, that was great. He's like, let's do that again. I was like, all right, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then, literally, Anthony said, just keep coming back till they tell you not to show up anymore.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
The former program director be like, hey, I got this guy for you. I'm like, nah.
I'm good.
I got Jamie. Jamie's coming back tomorrow.
Another cool story for me as it surrounds Game 7 was my father that summer. He ended up passing away due to cancer, and he had some strokes throughout that summer, and he couldn't remember Game 7. Like, he just didn't remember it. So me and him sat down maybe a month or two later and put the game on and watched it in the living room. And, you know, he was upset, or not upset. He was crying because we had won. Yeah. But that was a really cool moment for me because I knew what was happening before it happened. So I'm like, all right, let's see how he reacts to this.
That's really neat.
Or even like when a play didn't go their way, and he'd be like, what the hell? I'm like, just wait for it.
Marsh, that's really special.
It was really cool.
That's awesome. That's really neat, man. That's awesome. All right, well, we appreciate you, everybody listening to our stories. I know each and every one of you have your own story that occurred that night. So we appreciate it, and hopefully you enjoyed not only our coverage of We Went Blues, but also all the other coverage throughout the course of the day. BK and Ferrario, opening drive, and, of course, the balloon party, so we appreciate it. All right, it's Fastline on 101 ESPN. We do have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day next.
Hey, it's Carey, and if your windows are old or leaking, maybe they're hot to the touch, or you're just having high utility bills, then you need to reach out to Window Nation. Right now, they are extending their semi-annual sale. It's 50% off of all windows, all styles, plus 0 interest for 5 full years, and an additional bonus savings if you schedule that appointment now through June 30th. Window Nation, all they do is windows. They are great at it. They've sold over 200,000 windows just last year with a 96% satisfaction rate, following no follow-up service. They'll measure that window 3 times to ensure proper fit and make sure you get it done. Again, that's 10% off of all the windows, 50% off of all the windows with 0 interest down, 0 interest for 5 full years when you schedule that in-home estimate today. If you're tired of paying those high utility bills, reach out to them, 866-90-NATION, but you need to hurry up. The sale ends June 30th, so schedule a fast, no obligation in-home estimate with the pros at Window Nation. Don't miss a chance to save. Call 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. You just heard the guy with the cool voice talking about We Went Blues Day. We have had Ryan O'Reilly, Colton Parayko, Alex Pietrangelo, and Jon Hamm on the show today. If you missed any of those interviews, they are featured on the website. You can go to the mobile app as well. It is free, so check that out. You can also head to our podcast page where you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Cardinals lost last night to the Pittsburgh Pirates 2-1. They have a chance to get back in the win column tonight as Sonny Gray takes the mound going up against Bailey Falter. First pitch is at 6:45. After the show, starting at 6, we'll have Game 7. Bruins and your St. Louis Blues from 2019, so check that out. And then after that, we'll have tip-off for Game 3 between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. Tip-off is at 7:30. We have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
To hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time to play Beat the Streak. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Marsh, who do we have?
We have Jeff joining us today.
What's up, Jeff? How are you, buddy?
All right, how about you guys?
Doing great, my man.
Great.
Thanks for playing Beat the Streak. Unfortunately, you will be going last. But you know what? In a couple of days, maybe you'll be going first. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Marsh, what's our latest streaks?
All right, so Carey's leading us with a streak of 8.
Wow.
Anthony, you're in second with a streak of 7. Jamie has a streak of 5.
Like
and I'm at 0. And now we have Jeff in the joining the show, and he's starting off at 0 as well.
All right. Well, Carey, lead us off, kid.
I'm going to go back to where I was at yesterday and give me Brian Reynolds, who broke up the no-no yesterday with the triple. Didn't score, though.
Reynolds, huh?
The Cardinals are good.
Yeah, they are. Ish.
Scoring runs.
All right, give me Alec Burleson tonight. Alec Burleson's going to get a hit.
Lefty on lefty, huh?
Lefty on lefty crime.
Give me Nolan Arenado. I'm doubling down.
I see what you did there.
Worked out well for you last night, Jamie.
I'm going to go with Mason Wynn.
Mason Wynn. All right, Jeff, who would you like?
So are we doing any sport? I haven't played this before with you guys.
Oh, okay. So, no, you take a Cardinal or a Pirate that has not been selected just to get a base hit. And if that person gets a base hit, you will be back tomorrow. So just to remind you, Brian Reynolds is gone. Alec Burleson is gone. Nolan Arenado is gone. Mason Wynn is gone. So you've got Goldie. You've got Kutch.
Edmonds? Or not Edmonds. Let's go with Goldie. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Goldie it is. You got Paul Goldschmidt. So if he gets a hit, then you'll be back tomorrow. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, more of a blues guy. So.
Hey, that's all right. Blues. You know what? Maybe a blues player. Never mind.
We gotta wait.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, Jeff.
All right, sounds good.
All right, buddy.
All right, Jeff.
See ya. There you have it. Let's beat the streak.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
Excuse me.
What do you got there, Marsh?
Yeah.
Some great decor.
The rap is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
The rap in this studio is beautiful.
I've never looked in that corner.
Else. Not rap. I thought you said something else. Yeah.
Rack of ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No, I said rap.
Who doesn't like that? Right? Come on. That barbecue sauce all over that rack. Oh. Give me that bacon.
Oh. All right.
All right.
What's the question, there, Marsh?
Okay, so the biggest question of the day, I wanted to go back to where were you when the Blues won the Stanley Cup? I just wanted to go through some of these texts that we've been getting because the listeners have a lot of cool stories as well. So from the 314, I was at home watching on TV, and I got so nervous and anxious midway through the first, I threw up my Chinese food when I was eating.
Whoa. Wow.
That's tough.
That's nervous.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. That's a waste of money, too.
It is.
Yeah, that's
I hate
too
when
bad.
that happens.
Can't get that back.
No. You had a good night no matter what, though.
It's kind of like when you order bottle service somewhere. It's like, it depends on, it's gonna be like $1,500, and you got a little too much bottle service, and then maybe it comes back up. You're like,
Spent all that money for nothing.
It's a real big waste.
We're not. This is, you just cover your mouth.
Damn it,
and
you stay inside.
Yeah. Stay down. That's when you start talking. Stay down.
Yeah.
Be a man.
You're reasoning with yourself. Then you get mad at yourself. Then there's disappointment.
So that happened. That happened to me actually. The night of Riz Show Live. I think you guys remember how sober I was.
Yeah, you were sober-ish. Riz Show Live.
Riz Show
Marsh,
Live.
Oh yeah.
Marsh showed up, and he talked. At one point, he talked to Riz's kids.
We don't like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
About high school hockey.
Yeah.
I probably repeated the same thing like 3 times.
What was funny is how good you told him you were.
I don't remember saying that.
He's telling Riz's kid, like, I was the captain, I was the best player.
Never the captain.
I don't. That's not my story.
Yeah.
It's not mine either.
We didn't stop you.
But anyways, I saw Jamie earlier that day
You listen.
downtown for an event.
Yeah.
Jamie was doing a live interview with the Heat Daddy and former Blue George Fultz. Anyways, I may have puked and then rallied and then
that's the
went to Riz
part.
Show Live.
There you go.
Rally.
So
That was a busy day.
that was a busy
That
day.
was a busy day. We were downtown at the Wheelhouse. Marshy showed up. I did a little podcast with these guys, live show. Marshy stayed and kept his foot on the gas the entire time.
Nice job, Marsh.
Through an entire Blues game, and then
Yeah.
to Riz Show Live.
Way to go, kid.
Nice job.
Anyways, from the 636.
Gave it hell.
Me and my future wife were at Hot Shots Arnold, and we Ubered downtown to celebrate all the other maniacs, and it was one of the greatest days of my life, and I was super sauced. That is from the 636.
Nice.
Sounds like there's a theme for winning a championship.
Beverages?
Well, they don't put water in the cup when you win it.
No.
You know?
No?
Yep.
No. Highly frowned upon.
It probably ruins the material.
It's something.
Yeah, then wash it with beverages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how you cleanse it.
Keep it disinfected.
Yep. Yeah, you should do that.
Oh,
From
trust me.
314 says, watched the game at my grandparents' house. Our whole family was together. My grandpa was an original season ticket holder. We watched all the clinching games together. We smoked Cuban cigars to celebrate. He passed away a year and a half later. Best memory with him.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That is awesome.
That is a great moment.
From 1-800-HAM-SAUCED, I remember having the feeling that we were still going to somehow lose, even watching as we were in the third period with a 3-goal lead and only 3 minutes left in the period. I didn't stop holding my breath until the last horn sounded, and then I got ham-sauced.
Nice.
There you go.
As you should.
That first period for me was that was like the end-all be-all. I mean, I stood for the whole game. Watching with Scotty Warman down at the studios, he sat down. I stood the whole game. And then when Petro scored with under 10 seconds left in the first period to go up 2-0 after Bennington had just put on a clinic, I felt pretty good about things.
Sure.
Yet I didn't let myself feel convinced until, 15 seconds left in the game.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
From the 417, we were at Busch Stadium, my wife and I. Came home after celebrating around midnight and discovered our cat was extremely sick. Long story short, she died of a rare blood clotting disorder the next day. We were watching the parade in a weird state of mourning. Then Brett Hull walks out on the stage. God bless that man. We needed that so much. LOL.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well.
Sorry.
Sorry.
About the cat. I mean, that's terrible. I hate to hear that.
Big time.
I'm glad that Holly and the boys could change it up a little bit for you.
No doubt. Yeah. I feel bad inside now.
From the 314, listening to you guys with your stories about Game 7 just makes you realize what sports does for people. It's truly amazing.
Sports is the one thing that brings everyone together. Like, no matter your background, color, whatever, finances, whatever political party, sports is the one thing that I think, there are a lot of things that divide us, but sports brings us all together.
You're 100% right. And going back to our last texter, I remember walking in behind the studio and looking out at Busch Stadium with like 25,000 people at Busch Stadium, and it was raining. Raining, and people were watching the Blues game on the scoreboard at Busch Stadium. Enterprise Center was packed. Ballpark Village was packed. I remember just kind of taking it all in, going, oh my God. Like, this is pretty awesome.
It's insane, man.
And everybody like turning and hugging strangers and celebrating, like Carey said, it brings everybody together, man.
I remember when you were talking about like doing the pregame show and stuff, and people are yelling certain things from the show.
Oh yeah. We were set up downtown outside the Enterprise Center. Yeah. And we're doing these interviews, and we're just trying to have a regular show, and people just yelling stuff from the radio show, and yelling at me and yelling at everybody else. It was pandemonium.
It's phenomenal.
Just got a text from my buddy on the same topic. He said he was at a bar packed with fans, took 10 minutes to get a pitcher of beer, said screw it, went home, locked himself in the room with his own cooler of beer. That's how you do it, gentlemen.
I like that. Good for you. All right. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms and compliments. Next. If you need a car, Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, they have your next new ride. It's waiting for you. Just visit them at autocentersnissan.com. Peruse what they have, because they have over 700 vehicles all in one location out in Herculaneum. So after you visit them online at autocentersnissan.com, you pick out a couple, then head down there, because they have massive price discounts up to $20,000 off with no payments for 3 months and no down payment available on select new and used inventory right now. All current Nissan specials and incentives are eligible for any hail-affected new Nissan, where you can stack up the discounts and save thousands at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. They also have select new Nissan vehicles available at 0% APR for up to 60 months. And as always, 30-day new car return promise, complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, and the complimentary 1-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. It's all available at Auto Center's Nissan and autocentersnissan.com. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interviews with Ryan O'Reilly, Colton Parayko, Alex Pietrangelo, and the Jon Hamm, you can visit our 101ESPN.com website or the 101 ESPN mobile app and check out the podcast, all available, all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. All right, very quick, bet the board, gentlemen. Jamie, I think you're
first. Going with total singles play.
Total singles.
It's over-under. It's set at 0.5. So I'm going to go with the over. It's at plus 100 for this guy. Nolan Arenado.
Wow, he's all in. He's all in on Nolan Arenado.
Really? Lefty on the bump. All Arenado has to do is get a single, Carey. Just tap it in.
I will take the Phillies minus 122 against the Boston Red Sox.
Who's up, me or you? I'm going. Give me the Yankees minus 1.5. They've been well. They've been doing well against the Royals
with cheese.
Hopefully they win by 2 or more.
All right, Marsh.
I'm taking Sonny Gray over 6.5 strikeouts tonight.
There you have it. Let's bet the board.
Let's just get to the 3 stars.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Third star of the day, Scary Carey Davis.
Scary Carey Davis. I like that. Absolutely.
Second star of the day goes to all of our interviewees: Ryan O'Reilly, Colton Parayko, Jon Hamm, Alex Pietrangelo. Great.
Well done. Yep.
And our first star of the day goes to all of the listeners for participating and sharing their stories about Game 7 and where they were. I think a lot of the stories were really cool, even if we didn't get to all of them.
That's beautiful. Absolutely. All right, nice job, guys. Yeah, we do. We appreciate everybody being tuned in throughout the course of the show today and for, as Marsh just described, sharing all of your We Went Blues stories and memories with us. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. We have Mavs Celtics pregame and then tip-off. See ya!